2 of the Big 12 quarterfinals presented by Sprouts Farmers Market here from CPKC Stadium on the banks of the Missouri River. It's the number 9 Colorado Buffaloes against the number 1 TCU Horned Frogs on this Saturday morning. Hello everyone, alongside Luke Lendler, I'm Mahirson Hassan. Thanks for tuning in. Already one game down, and boy was it a blowout as number 4 BYU beat Oklahoma State 5-0. And we were talking pregame, Luke, we could have a possible result like that today, but at the same time, Colorado could be up for the task.
Colorado could very much be up for the task, and I think they match up very, very well with this TCU team. TCU's been dominant all year. I mean, no losses in the Big 12 yet. They're 9 wins and 2 draws, 7th-ranked team in the nation. Colorado, though, they like to control possession. They like to slow the game down. And when you're necessarily, not as talented as the team that you're playing, if you slow the game down, you make it just a game of who's going to convert one of their maybe 3 good chances, and you can just be that lucky team, have that quality in the final third, and just convert one chance, sit back and park the bus. You could force mistakes out of the team you're playing against, and I think that really opens the door for Colorado to potentially pull off the upset here today, though it will be hard.
And that's one thing we saw from Colorado on Wednesday, Luke. Technically speaking, underdogs against number 8 Utah. They allowed the first goal, but they were able to get too late in the second half. They were able to get one from Hope Leba in the 75th and then from Ava Priest in the 86th. Now it's time for the Colorado Buffaloes to see if they can keep their season alive against the number 7 TCU Horned Frogs. Let's take a look at Colorado's starting lineup first. We're expected to see a 4-1-4-1 today. Jordan Knights, the Big 12 goalkeeper of the year, in goal. In the back line, going from left to right, Rachel Rosen, Phoenix Dawn Miranda, Faith Leba, and Ava Priest. In the defensive midfielder spot, Michaela Rosenbaum. In the attacking midfield spots, from left to right, Shira James, Hope Leva, Laura Govin, and Juliana Hayward. Up top is Jace Hawley, their head coach today, Danny Sanchez. TCU on the other side as we get set to do the coin flip on the near touchline, right at the midfield marker. TCU starting lineup, a 4-3-3, the same 11 as they played against Oklahoma State last Friday. Megan Plashko will be in goal for them. A 4-3-3, their back line from left to right. Maddie Mooney, Evie Baker, Jenny Emathune, and Cameron Patton. The midfield, Morgan Brown, Ollie Pena, the Big 12 midfielder of the year, and Lauren Memely. And up top, Bella Diorio, Seven Castaigne, and AJ Hennessy, led by Big 12 Coach of the Year, now 3-time Big 12 Coach of the Year, Eric Bell. Triple zeros on the scoreboard here at CPKC Stadium. The countdown to kickoff started at around the 45-minute mark. Now it's down to 0. A countdown clock here in Kansas City. So the scoreboard's taken back up to 45. And that's where it will be until the ball is kicked off. The winner of this game taking on BYU on Wednesday in the first semifinal here from Kansas City at 4:30 p.m. Central Time. It will be at 3:30 in Arizona. You have to remember everybody but Arizona falls back an hour tomorrow. So a 2-hour difference today, a 1-hour difference tomorrow, going all the way into mid-March. Colorado breaking the huddle, working from left to right in this first half. Black tops, black shorts, black socks. TCU getting to break their huddle as well. Getting hyped for this one, their first Big 12 tournament game. They've made 6 championship appearances. They've won 1, which was back in 2021. White tops, white shorts, white socks for them with the purple sleeves and purple lettering. Horned Frogs break the huddle. What is a nice, coolish day here in Kansas City on the banks of the Missouri River. 59 degrees right now. The high expected to be at 66. As it was on Wednesday, all the games pushed up by a few hours because of severe weather supposed to hit the area later tonight. Colorado already breaking the huddle. It'll be Hope Leba to take the kickoff.
And one thing I'm a little bit interested to see from Colorado in this one is, can they get on the front foot early? Playing against Utah, They fell behind early, and we saw them have to get a little bit more aggressive and attacking than usual, and it took them a fair bit of time to really break through and find that first goal. Once they found that first goal, suddenly they were on the front foot. They played relaxed. They played calm. They found the winner, and they won in regulation. I understand this TCU team is excellent, very talented, probably the most talented team in the league. But if Colorado can find themselves on the front foot in these first 20 minutes, maybe just score first, I think that allows them to play so much more free, relaxed, and calm because they're not just praying that they don't concede.
So Colorado kicks off. They're going from left to right. They're taking the ball immediately up the pitch with Ava Priest as it's played out towards the left wing and brought back on that side. Patrolling down the far side of the pitch. Going down the way. Rachel Rosen, the left back. She'll earn a throw in. Deep in the attacking third. Colorado already getting on the front foot here.
And it's possession is the thing they like to hold. And so for them, I wouldn't be surprised if they just are a little bit timid with the ball going forward and being aggressive right away. But you definitely know they're going to get aggressive pretty soon.
Ava Priest throwing right into the box, and it's in! Not even a minute in this match, and Colorado has taken the lead. The flip throw off of Ava Priest. Jumping for joy, hugs all around, and it's Hope Leva who had the equalizer in the matchup against Utah. Wow. 1-0 Colorado.
And just like that, you want to beat the 1 seed in the tournament, you score off a throw-in 40 seconds into the match. You need to take advantage of these opportunities when they're presented to you. What a header by Leba. I mean, first of all, the flip throw by Priest, obviously great. You got to know that that's coming every time. It's kind of the specialty of this Colorado team. But what a header by Leba. She puts it right into the near side, top corner, hard to save. And now the Buffs are up 1-0. Just talked all about it. They're on the front foot early, and they can play relaxed now that the game has begun.
And this is one thing we saw with Colorado when they played TCU on October 5th back in Boulder. It was actually Leba who scored in the opening 90 seconds, not 60 seconds as we just saw now. TCU, again, not to possibly foreshadow the rest of this match, but they did score 5 goals in the rest of that first half. So Eric Bell and crew trailing early in this one. What can they do now? Ball in the midfield in the left half space over towards Maddie Mooney. And now out on the left-hand side, trying to find their way forward. Out towards Ginny Emathune, and now Cameron Patton.
Colorado shifting their formation, falling to a bit of a 5 at the back sometimes when they're in this defensive mode. I'll see how this adjusts as the half goes on.
Mooney played out towards Evie Baker on the left. Looking up pitch, she'll stop her run, plays it out towards the left half space for Morgan Brown. She slides it over, right half space now for Lauren Memely, and now out on the right side for Patton once again. 43 minutes through, TCU driving forward, down 1-0. The ball's clipped in towards Bella Diorio. She heads it down. That's cleared away by the Buffaloes. Colorado trying to break forward. Ball bouncing around, controlled again by TCU, now in the center circle for Brown, and now out towards the left half space again. An early goal by Hope Leva, giving Colorado the lead here. Here's Leba on the right, pressured. Diorio takes her down. No foul called, but a throw-in for the Buffs right in front of their bench near side.
And the Buffs have Laura Govan just marking Diorio, just not letting her get a sliver of space. You know she's a threat. 11 goals to her name this season. Buffalo's not taking any chances, not playing around when it comes to defending the star striker.
Headed away by TCU. Brought down by Juliana Hayward. And now to the fellow Cope captain for Colorado, clipped forward by Rosen. Nobody able to meet it, as Megan Plashko will scoop it up. Taking down the left half space now, room to work for Maddie Mooney. Out towards Baker again. Trying to work the flanks early in this one, TCU. Slid over, center circle, Emathune. Right at the center line, out towards the right. We've seen Memely drop back for a few in the right half space. Patton and Baker on the other side, your wingbacks today for the Horned Frogs. They've been playing relatively higher up the pitch. 41-26 remaining in this first half. Mooney. Nobody pressuring. Trying to call out some responses. Towards the middle now. Trying to get some touches on the ball, and it is for AJ Hennessy. In the 18 now, Hennessy, right foot across, chopped down, and headed away by the Buffs. Now going the other way, one back momentarily. TCU trying to bring pressure early in this match, down 1-0. Trying to change their fortunes early. Tapped out towards the right-hand side. This is Cameron Patton. Patton sends this high into the box over the head of 7 Castaigne. Ollie Pena tries to track it down on the near side. Last touched by Hayward, and it will be a corner kick for TCU.
Ava Priest making her presence felt there on that chance for TCU. Their first couple touches in the 18. She drops down from her winger position and clears the ball out. She's really been all over the field for Coach Danny Sanchez as a member of the Buffs. She couldn't really play any position he asked her to.
Bella Diorio to take this one. Left hand up, right foot through the ball, gliding over towards the back post area, a little bit away from goal as it's redirected back in. Ball ricocheting, edge of the 18, Pena with the touch, playing it towards the middle, and it's snuffed out by Knights. A little run there by Memely trying to get a one-time ball, but it will not go. 40 minutes through, TCU 0, Colorado 1.
This is really strength on strength between these two teams. Knight's the goalkeeper of the year in the Big 12. The best at her position in this conference as voted by writers and peers. And she's going against this TCU offensive attack that's also scored the most goals in the Big 12. It's really strength on strength here. I'm interested to see how that matchup will evolve as the game goes on.
Memely trying to thread it through, picked off by the Buffs. Ball still bouncing in the air. And then just knocked away by Faith Leba. Faith, the center back. Hope playing in the center midfield. Hope, right now, the difference in this one for Colorado. A 1-0 lead for the Buffs. Looking to advance to the semifinals. A date with BYU could be set on Wednesday afternoon. Memely. Brown. Out for Mooney. TCU bringing their line. Edge of the attacking third. As it's Brown again. Towards the left center back, Maddie Mooney. Slid forward towards Diorio at the edge of the 18. Picked away by Laura Govan. Buffs trying to bend but not break after scoring the opener.
Nice tackle there by Govan, making her presence felt with Diorio early. You got to be physical when you're kind of marking a player as good as Diorio is, and Govan's going to have to be with her all game. That was a good start for the defender.
Mooney again. Played over. Brown. Out again, some space to work for TCU as Pena plays it back with Imathun. And now with Memely. Memely working around. This is a TCU side that has 10 all-conference selections, 6 in the first team, the most all-time. Mooney looking up pitch towards Pena, one of those first-team selections, as she slides it over towards Memely. Right half space, played over towards Castaigne. Able to get a touch. Knights on the ground for now. Castaigne can't play it back towards Patton, but 7 will get control of it on the right. 7 Castaigne again. Working against Rosen, edge of the 18, slid in down low, still bouncing around, and Bella Diorio, who was right in front, or rather behind the ball, just couldn't get a touch to it. A little bit of a missed time. Throw in for TCU. 37-34 remaining in this first half. They're still down 1-0.
And you mentioned Diorio just missing a touch there. I want to highlight Govan again. That was really good defending. Excellent use of her body. She kind of sealed off Diorio and almost pushed her past the ball, not allowing her to fight back into the play. Totally clean and textbook defending.
Castaigne in the 18 again on the right-hand side. Plays it out towards Patton. Patton left-footed ball in, just skipping past the TCU person in the area. That was Evie Baker, and it's out for a Colorado goal kick. You were talking about Laura Govan a few times, Luke. Interesting fact, again, we are kind of sort of ideally representing Arizona State. Laura Govan's boyfriend, Jack Loader, actually went to Arizona State, the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. Now out in San Francisco working for KNBR. So shout out to him. He's cheering on the Buffs from home. Baker near side. TCU regrouping in their own half of the field. Brown. And slid over again. Back with Morgan Brown in the center circle. Play towards Pena. Pena clips it out towards Patton. Rough first touch, but able to keep it at play on the far touchline. Working against Rosen. Cameron Patton in the 18. Dancing around towards the end line. And Rosen will shield the ball out for a goal kick.
More nice defending there from Colorado, using their physicality. TCU's a talented team. great team, but their attack, small in stature. That's kind of an edge that Colorado has within their own 18. They're a bigger, more physical defensive team, and they can use that physicality to their advantage as they have so far. Still, I understand they're winning. I understand they're 1-0 up, but Colorado's really been kind of defending with their lives for the last 10 minutes. Can this last a full 90? I'm not sure. So I'd like to see them push bodies a little bit, push bodies forward a little bit more to kind of create a more open and aggressive game, which could perhaps favor them as TCU could leave themselves exposed.
Free kick in favor of Colorado's. Ava Priest went down. Far touchline, left wing for the Buffs. Roughly 35 yards away from goal, so this will be an indirect kick for Colorado. Last set piece they had, it led to a goal from Hope Leyva just 39 seconds into the match. Priest, who went down, she'll go over to take the free kick. One-woman wall for TCU as Priest will back up all the way well past the touchline. Far run-up for her. Right-footed through the ball, clipped in towards the back post, headed down by Hayward, clipped away. Ball still bouncing around the edge of the 18. Kicked away by Ali Pena. Side kicking it out towards the near touchline. Last touched by her. Throw in for Colorado. 34-46 remaining in the first half. Buffs back on the attack, up 1-0 against TCU. Long trot over for Priest. Took the free kick on the left wing. Now she's taking the throw in on the right. Another long run up, and let's see if we see the flip throw. She does. Right in towards the middle. Cleared away by the Horned Frogs once again. Trickling back in the middle part of the pitch. Out towards Rosen. Rosen, left-footed ball into the box. Headed up by Knights. And once again, bounced right towards Plashko.
That was a nice build-up by Colorado, and just like I mentioned earlier, it's good to see them kind of attack a little bit more, take the pressure off their backline for a little bit, honestly, just to buy Knights and the rest of the backline a little bit of rest. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of a break, and when they push forward, I think they buy their backline some time to catch their breath and to get ready to dig in once again, because TCU likes to hold possession for as much as they can.
Towards Pena again. Or rather, that's AJ Hennessy checking back in towards the midfield. Now towards Morgan Brown in the left half space. Edge of the attacking third. Played out towards Diorio. Diorio dancing around. Govan picks it away. Throw in for TCU. 33-27 remaining in this first half. You're listening to the Big 12 Soccer Championships presented by Sprouts Farmers Market here on Blaze Radio and the Blaze Sports YouTube page. This is number 9 Colorado against number 1 TCU in the quarterfinals. The winner plays number 4 BYU in the semifinals on Wednesday. Back with the Horned Frogs in the center for Emathune. Picked away again by the Buffs. Kind of an ideal thing for them as Hayward wins it back.
Nice ball.
She tries to play it out towards the left-hand side. Looking for some options for Priest. Priest working against Hennessy on that left wing. And boy, oh boy, just really good cohesion from Colorado and how Ava Priest can go from the right side of the pitch out towards the left. Everybody able to man mark as well.
She's given a lot of freedom under Danny Sanchez, and that's something that he trusts her a lot. The Priest of just a sophomore, has made a lot of impact as an underclassman for Colorado, and I think will be a face of this program for years to come. Not only can she score goals from her kind of free roam position, she creates really well, leading the team with 4 assists on the season.
Throwing for Govan, near side. Options both ways. She works down the line, looking for Hope Leyva. Off of her face, ball still continues to juggle near side. Brought down by Brown. She plays it over towards Baker. To the back line we go for TCU. The right center back, Jenny Emathune. Plays it over towards Mooney. Back towards Emathune, your center back pairing today for the Horned Frogs. And they'll get the center midfielder, Lauren Memley, involved. And now out towards the right-hand side. Brown, left half space. Further out towards the left for Mooney. Into some space, cutting inside. Interplay picked off by Hayward of Colorado. TCU still going forward, but once again, one back by the Buffs. Trying to hold on to this lead. 31-25 remaining in the first half. Ball booted back in towards the center circle by Knights. As Colorado, it's been a while. I mean, even though they're up 1-0, they've only had 2 real trips into the attacking third.
And that's kind of what you come to expect when you're playing a team as good as TCU. But if you can make those trips count just as they have so far, that's how you come out on top. You're not really going to beat such a great team by TCU by dominating them possession-wise, having double-digit shots on target. You're going to do it by dinking in a throw-in into the top corner 40 seconds into the match and then holding on for the rest of the game, perhaps getting a second later on. And that's exactly what they've done so far today.
Emathune again. Played over towards the right-hand side. This is Cameron Patton. She's played a full 90 in 4 of the past 5 games, Patton. Emathune holding on to the ball as well. The transfer from Loyola Marymount plays it out towards Memely on the right. TCU has not trailed in many instances this season. Only 2 losses and 2 draws. All of them coming on the road as well. No results at a neutral site this season as it's picked off by Hayward. Plaško has to retreat back as Hayward still dances around that center circle and plays it out towards the left-hand side. Colorado, numbers going forward. It's played through towards Knights on the left. Or rather, that's James. Shira James plays it. Rosen able to keep it in play. Rosen clips it in. Hope Leva with a chance. That dribbles, and it goes towards Plaško. A little bit of deflection there from Evie Baker. It stopped the ball's momentum. TCU still down 1-0, less than 30 minutes to go in the first half.
Nice control there by Priest, operating very well in a closed space in that midfield.
Towards Pena again. Can't find Seven Castaigne. Back with the Buffs. Rosen clipping it forward. James was offside, so she couldn't make a run for it as the ball goes back towards Plaško and plays it towards Emathune. Maddie Mooney, left half space, right around the midfield marker. Looking forward, trying to direct traffic. A TCU side that has made an appearance in the Big 12 tournament ever since joining the conference back in the early 2010s. Memely clips it forward. That one headed away by Colorado. Ava Priest tries to play this one in. James has essentially taken that number 9 spot, even though she is listed as the left midfielder, has been listed as the left midfielder in the past for Danny Sanchez's side. 28:45 remaining. TCU trying to go forward. Brown, Memely, Emathune. Towards Mooney again. TCU white tops, white shorts, white socks. Looking to go up against Colorado. Black tops, black shorts, black socks. Played in towards Hennessy. Hennessy can't find her option. Able to get the ball back. Edge of the 18 now for AJ Hennessy. Couple rolls back towards Patton. And now back with Emathune. All about finding the right moment for TCU. Out with Ollie Pena, the midfielder of the year, plays it through towards Baker. She can't get a touch to it as Hope Leva spins out and clears it towards the near side. Throw in for the Horned Frogs. Baker was going to play it short. Now she plays it long. Back towards Mooney. Mooney towards Emathune. In the center part of the pitch. Back out towards the left half space. Edge of the attacking third for TCU. Now back in the right half space. Emathune space to work, but she'll survey her options. Out towards the right-hand side for Memely. Patton going on the overlap, but Memely plays it back inside towards TCU again. Hennessy trying to take some touches. Players that can work in any space, any position possible for TCU and Colorado. Brown, Pena, back to Brown. Center part of the pitch. Now back towards the midfield. Mooney split pass towards Pena. In space, Ollie Pena lets it fly, and it just goes over the bar. Might have taken a touch off the crossbar, but Jordan Knights and Colorado remain unscathed. Less than 27 minutes in this first half. Still, Colorado 1, TCU 0.
And a big exhale there for Danny Sanchez in Colorado. That was, woof, that was scary and close, just skimming the top of the crossbar. Pena showing that Colorado has to fear her from deep. She's a distributor first, but she can really put the ball in the back of the net should need be for the Horned Frogs.
Back in towards the middle. Bella Diorio tracking back. Ball bouncing, brought down by TCU. No changes yet in this match. Right now, a goal by Hope Leva in the first minute. All the difference right now. Ball going forward, Castaigne, I should say, giving chase. Seen out by Faith Leba, and a goal kick for Jordan Knights. Again, a TCU side that has come in with, almost everything imaginable overall. Only losses were on the road to Notre Dame and Texas A&M. Have won their last 6 matches by 2 goals or more. Once again, double-digit victories for the 9th consecutive season. Trailing early in this one. Again, this is a team that, even though if they do lose today, if they do not win the Big 12 tournament, they will still probably go to the NCAA tournament in the top 10 of the national rankings right now. Top 10, top 15, depending on who you talk to and who you look at. But nonetheless, on upset watch early as of right now. But you know how this team can change momentum. 25-20 in the first half, still down 1-0. Morgan Brown protruding in the midfield, trying to play it towards Diorio, just inside of the 18. Knocks it out, back towards Baker. Another reset for the Horned Frogs. Brown tussling in the middle with Priest. Ball stays with the Horned Frogs. Set out towards the center part of the pitch. And now out towards the left half space for Brown. 25 yards away with Pena. Into some space. Middle. Memoli. Brown. Back to Memoli. Now played out in front for Hennessy. Played forward towards Castaigne in the 18. Castaigne cutting. And that one cut away by Faith Leba. TCU continues working in the attacking third. Brown looking for a chance. Left half space. Morgan Brown. And she'll sting that ball right over the crossbar. 2 consecutive chances for the Horned Frogs, trying to test Jordan Knights from distance. No goals yet, though. 24-20, TCU still down 1-0.
TCU getting kind of antsy, taking these shots from distance, not really being able to break down this Colorado back line yet. And hey, 2 shots, both very, very close. We could see maybe if they could keep it down a little bit. One could find its way into the top corner of the net pretty soon, but a great tackle down there by Faith Leba. That was really nice, just cutting down the TCU player and getting the ball out of the box. We're seeing Colorado play incredible defense so far, really. Just playing by the book, keeping it clean, physical, but not dirty. And we'll see if they can continue that trend as the game goes on.
Throwing for Colorado, far side of the pitch. Just in TCU's half. Skips forward by Rosen. Trying to play it in for James. Cleared away by Imathune. Back in towards the midfield for the Buffs. And play back to base for Jordan Knights. Knights plays it forward. Cleared back in towards the middle. Castaigne goes down, and a free kick for TCU. A little bit of a reckless challenge by the Buffs over there. No card issued right now, but nonetheless, another chance for the Horned Frogs to go forward.
I'd be interested to see that one again. From up here, it looks pretty shoulder to shoulder. Castaigne is a excellent player. Not very tall or big compared to the Colorado defender that went up for that challenge. It was very much an aerial duel, both sides going straight up. They made shoulder-to-shoulder contact, it seems, but a fair call by the ref to issue a foul there.
Greer McGuire called for the foul. Again, no card handed out right now. No cards on the day. Belladiorio to take the free kick over the one-woman wall. Still bouncing in the area. Last touch by Colorado. Reset out towards the left wing for A.J. Hennessy. Parallel with the edge of the 18. Hennessy plays it back towards Baker. Still in the area. Right-footed ball. Glided forward. A header up. Punched away by Knights. Memoli in the area trying to get ahead to it. It didn't matter. It was offsides. 22-10 remaining in the first half. Colorado up 1-0 against TCU. Mahirson Hassan, Luke Lendler back with you at CPKC Stadium, the home of the NWSL's KC Current. Glad that you could tune in on this, what is now a Saturday afternoon in Kansas City, a Saturday morning in Boulder, Colorado, a Saturday morning in Tempe, Arizona for you guys tuning in back home. Thanks for tuning in on the Blaze Sports YouTube page and for Blaze Radio. First conference tournament that Blaze Radio has been at since Arizona State has entered the Big 12. Good hospitality, good facility here in Kansas City. As TCU trying to keep their Big 12 tournament hopes alive. Regular season champions as they've been They've held that title now for 3 of the past 5 years, but they've struggled here at the Big 12 tournament, trying to change that narrative here against Colorado, down 1-0, courtesy of a Hope Leva goal just 39 seconds into the match. Set out with Morgan Brown, right half space again, Lauren Memely, Imathune, and now with Maddie Moody on the left. Colorado getting some of their substitutes warmed up. No changes so far for either side. Danny Sanchez for Colorado, Eric Bell for TCU. Two coaches that are both in their 13th season at the helm. Brown, left half space, played out towards the left, Baker, Imathune. Another reset for TCU. Still trying to find their first shot on target. Imathune again, past the center circle, in Colorado's half. Brown down the middle, trying to feed it in towards Hennessy. Back out with Brown. Now in towards the left. Hennessy moving forward, trying to dance her way around the Colorado defense. Now played in towards Castaigne. Castaigne, edge of the 18, trying to work towards the middle. That one's cut away by Faith Leba. Ball still bouncing around. Back out towards the left for Rachel Rosen. First time ball knocked away by Cameron Patton of TCU. Throw in Colorado.
Colorado defending hard, defending aggressive, and playing with a lot of passion today. We can tell that they're very, very fired up for this matchup. They know what a game like this means, and they're well aware that it's win or go home for this team right now. TCU has the comfort of saying, hey, we could lose today and still play in the NCAA tournament. Colorado doesn't have that luxury. They had an upset a Utah team that's pretty good 2 days ago, and now they got to upset a TCU team if they want any shot at playing in the postseason. But they're playing hard, they're playing strong, and we'll see if they can continue this trend.
Another throw in for Colorado coming up here, as we might see our first sub coming on in a few. Emerson Lane right now on the near touchline as the ball's back with TCU, working in towards the edge of the attacking third. Diorio now with Patton, trying to reset. Hennessy, she's been working her way back. Very positionalist offense from Eric Bell and the Horned Frogs. Mooney, Brown, Hennessy again in the center. Now towards the left half space, still dancing around. Out towards Diorio. Baker. Brown. Pena. Pena with the pink headband. Out towards the right half space. Memely now with Patton. Patton working against Rosen. Lifts it into the box. Back post. Caught by Knights. Hennessy was lurking on that back post. Trying to head that one in. Jordan Knights denying the chance. 18:28 remaining in the first half.
First real look we've seen at Knights having to make a save with the threat of goal after her front line has done a pretty good job keeping her clean today. But, we can see those sure hands that are the reasons she won Big 12 Goalkeeper of the Year. She commands her box quite well, and Danny Sanchez is going to need her to be that Big 12 Goalkeeper of the Year, to be that hero for his team if they want to come out on top today.
So we'll see changes for both sides, as we'll see Lane come on for Colorado. Bella Diorio will head off for TCU. Caroline Kelly will check in. Another change, as we'll see AJ Hennessy check out and Cameron Lancaster check in. So changes on the wings for Eric Bell's side, as we'll see Kelly down the left and Lancaster down the right. It's been kind of a tough day for this TCU side that has been squeezed as soon as they've gotten close towards the 18. Both chances, both shots, if you will, both of them coming from distance, from 25 yards out. Close, but not close enough to really trouble Jordan Knights and coax a save out of her. Mooney towards Imathune in the center circle, patrolling down the center, in towards Colorado's half once again. Brown working around. A little bit too behind for Pena. Picked off by Laura Govan. Now played back towards Phoenix Don Miranda. Don Miranda plays it out. Hope Leva now with Lane. Her first touches of the day. Ball picked out by Baker. Throw in for the Buffs.
And Colorado's going to have to be careful if they're trying to pass it around in the back line. This TCU team is aggressive. They don't find themselves themselves down often. But when they are trailing this year, they've switched to very much a press after possession loss tactic that can be very aggressive and very successful. It's how they've worked their way back in games, and it's how they've avoided defeat in the Big 12 so far this season. They're a good team, technically very, very sound, but beyond all things, they want to win. They are hungry, and they have more passion than a lot of the teams that they've played so far. They're going to try to put that on display, now trailing 1-0 to Colorado.
Brown, center circle, out again, past the halfway point with Mooney, picked away by Don Miranda. Lane, back again towards Phoenix. Don Miranda, the 5'9" senior from Aya, Hawaii. It's back with TCU now with 7. Castaigne, and it's just saved by Jordan Knights. Her first save of the day, a left-footed shot from Castaigne just inside of the 18. And boy, oh boy, Jordan Knights, like you said, Luke, she's the Big 12 goalkeeper of the year for a reason. She's trying to show it. Less than 16 minutes to go. Buffs up 1-0. Hayward dancing around. Played out towards the right again for Govan. Lane trying to work her way past a double team. Brown picks it away. Out towards Pena. Working her way forward. Lancaster just knocked down in the middle. Colorado's defense has been sturdy ever since scoring the first goal with Hope Leyva back in the first minute. Throwing down Mooney towards Emathune. Back in TCU's relative defensive third. Now played out towards the midfield with Memoli. Patton. Colorado content for TCU to build. Trying to bring its way forward through the midfield. Ball played forward, finds the feet of Castaigne, right towards Lancaster, and it goes in! The shot was taken roughly 18 yards out. It took a slight deflection. Knights unable to make the save to it, just standing there on her goal line. And 30 minutes, just a little bit over 30 minutes into this match, TCU has equalized 1-1 here at CPKC.
And Knights might want that one back. Looking at the replay right now, I think she just caught a little bit unawares. That shot didn't have a lot of pace on it. Knights might have just kind of forgotten where she was spatially, thought the shot was going to go wide. She didn't make a diving attempt at it. It was really, really well placed. It sometimes shows, placement is more important than accuracy. But a nice finish there by Castaigne, and TCU equalizes here to give themselves a good chance at potentially taking the lead before halftime.
12th goal of the season for Castaigne. Entered this tournament tied for first in the Big 12 with goals. Now she sits atop the throne. Also 4 goals and 1 assist against the Buffs when they played at Boulder on October 5th. What do Danny Sanchez and the Buffs have in store for the rest of this first half? First time it happened where the Buffs scored first and then TCU ended up responding. The Horned Frogs won 6-1. Not a pretty sight in the Rocky Mountains. Now on the banks of the Missouri River, can Colorado respond? Free kick in the center circle. Jordan Knights, the goalkeeper, going up all the way to take this. Line right now set roughly 20 yards away from TCU's goal line. Phoenix Don Miranda also in the center circle with Knights, but Knights has her hand up, and she'll clip it in with the right boot towards the edge of the 18. Ball still bouncing around. Lane trying to take a chance. Saved by Plashko. Rebound still up for grabs, and it will be a corner kick for Colorado. 2 chances for Emerson Lane off the bench, and Megan Plashko in the TCU defense comes up big. And it looks like we're going to have a VAR check, possibly for a handball.
It looked like it could have clipped the hand of somebody. I believe that was Patton on TCU. It looked like it might have clipped her hand. If it did, there was no way you can argue her arm's in natural position. It just comes down to the fact, did it hit her hand or not? Not called a penalty on the field. This might be a tough one to overturn. You need conclusive evidence to overturn a call. It's maybe a tough one to overturn, but that was an excellent chance for Colorado. Great set piece design. Hats off to Danny Sanchez on that, or whoever on his staff drew that one up. The ref says corner kick, no penalty. Said it did not hit her hand.
And again, it seemed like a bit inconclusive, as we'll see our referee for today, Servano Berna, talk with Danny Sanchez on the near touchline. Sanchez seems to be fine with the call right now, but Lord Govan will make the long trot over towards the far corner flag to try to send this one in. 1-1 between Colorado and TCU, 13 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this first half. As we'll see Phoenix Don Miranda? Yes, Phoenix Don Miranda head off, and heading in, Angelina Moschetti. Whistle blows. Govan, right hand up, right foot through the ball, clipped in, diving header by one of the Leba sisters. I believe that was Faith. Cleared away by TCU, seen out, and another throw-in coming for Colorado.
And you know what time it is, Mahir? Flip throw o'clock, indeed. They've already scored once off the flip throw. We'll see if Priest can provide another assist from the sideline.
So she'll back up all the way towards the metal chain where the seats are near side here at CPKC Stadium. Flips her way forward, still bouncing around, and possession will now go towards TCU. Foul called in the box against the Buffs. 12:38 remaining in the first half.
Probably, that might have been Priest's best flip throw I've seen. I mean, her feet landed on the field of play. Not sure that's legal, but the ref didn't see it. That thing was hurtling into the middle of the box, man. It looked like a cross.
And that's what you can do when you have a player like that, where you can essentially treat everything, throw-ins, free kicks, corner kicks, as a set piece, a chance to score a goal. They got the first goal of the game in that manner with Hope Leba in the first minute, 7 Castaigne responding roughly 30 minutes later. That's how we get a 1-1 scoreline with less than 12 minutes to go in this first half.
And I think 2 keys here, one for either team. TCU needs to be patient. They got to know they've had possession most of this time. They've done a pretty good job operating within this Colorado 18. They've been breaking them down slowly but surely, and they're going to get more good chances. The worst thing they can do is open themselves up and concede again before halftime, because all of a sudden you're chasing this game once again instead of commanding it with a tied scoreline. For Colorado, just get to the dressing room at this point. They've done a good job to keep this game tied. To score first, it's very impressive how they've played. The Sanchez's 5 at the back seems to have worked for the most part. Yes, they got that free run in. It's just it's going to happen, every once or twice in the game. But the 5 at the back has worked. They've kind of controlled TCU's best offensive players so far, but they can't concede before half.
Lancaster trying to play it through, and it rolls towards Knights. 11:07 remaining in the first half. Number 9 Colorado against number 1 TCU in the 2024 Sprouts Farmers Market Big 12 Soccer Championships. The winner will take on number 4 BYU on Wednesday, a Cougar side that beat number 5 Oklahoma State 5-0 earlier today, the first matchup in this soccer tournament where the game was not decided by 1 goal. Memely, right half space, towards the midfield. In the own half now. Imathune played out left towards Baker. Pena working around, able to get past the Colorado defender for a while, but unfortunately it's a free kick for the Buffs in that regards. Another foul called by Greer McGuire.
It's going to be a yellow card. Yellow card, here. Greer McGuire getting a yellow here. I have to assume that's probably for repeated offenses. Couple fouls called on her already. Ref kind of saying, hey, let's cool it now. Don't need to be doing this all game. I thought the tackle itself was clean. However, she had a fistful of Pena's jersey, and that's going to get called every time.
So free kick for TCU. Memely to take this. Left half space roughly 40 yards away. No wall for Colorado. As the line is set towards the back post, looking towards the 18. Ball clipped into the box. Caught up by Knights for a while. She was shoved trying to make the catch in towards her left abdomen. Rightfully so, a free kick for the Buffs as we approach the 10-minute mark in this first half. Countdown clock here at CPKC Stadium. So that's 10 minutes to go in the first half. We're 35 minutes through. 1-1 between Colorado and TCU. Colorado trying to get a second consecutive victory at the Big 12 soccer tournament. Fresh off its first win at the tournament since 2008, back when they were a part of the Big 12, then went to the Pac-12, and now back with their old company. TCU trying to once again remain dominant as they have many times throughout the years here in this conference. This one clipped forward, can't find Lancaster. Clipped away by Faith Leba, goes out to the near touchline, bounces a few rows into the stands, throw in for TCU, as we'll see changes come on for both sides. Jace Hawley for Colorado, and for TCU, Kayla Martinez.
The ball could have been dangerous. A nice clearance there by Faith Leba to get the ball out of play.
Caroline Kelly on the left-hand side, near side, right-footed ball, whipped into the box, goes all the way towards the right. Lancaster looking to regroup on that side. Patton played in. Memely into some space. Brown in the center. Morgan Brown, a deflected shot, goes towards Knights. She'll go a little bit off her line to get that. Not as bad as another deflected shot she saw earlier today. Led to a goal from Seven Castaigne earlier. Some technically right now given towards Cameron Lancaster. But nonetheless, a 1-1 game in Kansas City. A free kick now for Colorado as Hope Leva was making her way forward. Seems like Colorado, if you're Colorado, you probably want some sort of chance going into half. Try to get some momentum back.
Yeah, and you want to just give yourself kind of that feeling of optimism. I think they should be feeling optimism. Even if they don't get that chance before half, they should be feeling happy with how they've played so far. I can understand why they necessarily wouldn't be without a chance going into half. So for them, the biggest thing is, put a little bit of threat, put a little bit of pressure on TCU. Don't let Geller get too comfortable back there in goal, and kind of do your best to perhaps steal a moral victory or two before the halftime whistle, or maybe even steal a goal. They've done well at kind of taking advantage of these set pieces already. We'll see if they can do it again.
Mikaela Rosen sends it into the box, headed up for a while, cleared away by the Horned Frogs. Out towards the left, Govan scrambles to keep it in play, now working her way down against Lancaster. Lancaster picks it away from her, and it's now a corner kick for the Boston College transfer. Going over towards that side, less than 8 minutes to go. A 1-1 game between CU and TCU. Players lining up towards the edge of the 18. Crashing run coming towards the right half space as Govan whips this in from the left wing into the box. Over the head of a couple Buffs. Trying to recollect on the right. Slide tackle over by Faith, but it's out for a TCU goal kick. Now we'll see Lola Stanley check in for the Buffaloes. The 5'4" junior from Frisco, Texas. Transferred over from the Longhorns. So she's used to seeing TCU right up the road on the I-35. Now she gets to play against them here in Kansas City. Plashko in her 18. Not too many touches today for her, but she got a few there. Patton. Imathune. TCU playing relatively patient ball.
Exactly, I think what they should be doing right now. They have to know they're in command, they're in control of this game. Limit giving away set pieces, kind of limit those sometimes lucky, sort of weird, freaky opportunities for Colorado, and ultimately do your best to stay in command and create your own authentic chances built up. Because you're a 1 seed for a reason. You're the more talented team. You're the better team. You haven't lost a game yet in this entire league all season. And so I think for them to perhaps get too aggressive and to open themselves up would be a grave mistake. So for them to be playing the way they're playing right now, it's impressive, and it shows, I think, a level of understanding of the game and their context that is perhaps one of the reasons they haven't lost a game yet in the conference.
Caroline Kelly called for the foul against Govan. Free kick for Jordan Knights and the Buffs. Less than 6 minutes remaining in this first half. 1-1 between TCU and Colorado. Ball skied forward, aiming towards the middle part of the pitch. Patton will nick it away, only as far as the Buffs in the center part of the pitch. Brought down by Rosen, pressured by Castaigne. Rosen working towards the left, pipping it down the line, and it's seen out for a TCU throw-in. Far side of the pitch, sun beaming through on this Saturday afternoon. All but basically most of the 18-yard box for TCU. That is where Megan Plashko, their goalkeeper, stands right now in the sun. her area right now in the shade for the most part, along with the wings on that side. A nice, beautiful day here in Kansas City. Temperatures around 60 degrees. You also have the touch lines in the shade as well. Here comes TCU in towards the left half space, played forward, cleared away by Faith Leba. Nasty challenge possibly in the middle as we saw a Horned Frog go down. That was Castaigne. Throwing now for Baker.
Castaigne tossing her hands up looking for the foul. I didn't see a foul there. I think Leba probably has been my player of the game so far for Colorado. Her sister's got the goal, but really, she's been defending really, really well. She's been imposing her will physically on this TCU team that usually just has their way with the defensive line, and I think she's making a presence felt and making TCU attackers more timid to attack the middle of the field.
Govan picks it away from Kelly. A mistake she knew it had in hands. And a possible chance here for TCU. Corner kick coming on the near side. Nobody going over there to take it, and now we'll see a run over from Patton. A little bit of miscommunication between her and Memely. A long trot over as she'll receive the ball from one of the ball girls on that near side. Less than 4 minutes to go.
That ball girl looked ready and raring to take that kick, Maher. She was ready.
So here's Patton, near side, right-footed, going swinging towards the goal, but it goes over in towards the top netting outside for a goal kick. We have seen a few goals like that in Big 12 soccer this year, whether in the run of play or from the corner flag. No Olympicos, though. No Olympicos here from CPKC Stadium. 3:23 remaining in the first half. 2 of 4 games on this Saturday here in Kansas City. Have number 10 Baylor versus number 2 Texas Tech coming up right after this. As play will be stopped, and we'll see another change for the Buffs. We'll see a change. Claire Curran now on, and Jace Hawley will be sacrificed back to the bench. Play resumes. Down the line, Curran making her presence known. Towards the middle, Memely, Baker, trying to get some space out there. Baker again, looking towards Maddie Mooney. She does play it towards Maddie Mooney, the senior defender from Seattle, Washington. TCU contempt to hold the ball right now. They've held most of the possession today as the ball's clipped forward, looking towards Castaigne. Ball back in towards the 18. Knights will clear it away, but only as far as the tracking Horned Frogs. Lancaster tries to get it out towards the left. That's cleared away. And now a fight in the middle. One back by Brown. And out towards Mooney once again. 2 minutes. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 1-1 between TCU and Colorado. Ball going around, bouncing around. Imathune. Patton. Back to Imathune. Center line, right half space. Now towards the center for Memely. And now towards the left half space for Martinez. Martinez trying to play it down the line for Kelly. 10 goals in the season. Kelly working her way around in towards the end line. Right at the 6. Cleared away. 7 Castaigne with a chance. And a good tackle by Rosen to get right in front of it. 1-1. TCU with a good chance, but Colorado again. Defense coming up big.
Yeah, that was it for TCU. That was really their best chance that they could have asked for at the end of the half. Castaigne just couldn't quite control it, but the opportunity was really there for the Horned Frogs. They could have put a second one up. They could have taken the lead heading into halftime, which might have felt like a kill shot if you're Colorado. But nonetheless, good defending again, physicality, making your presence felt, by the book, deflections, doing their job, and now Colorado equal right now, 1-1 inside of a minute as there's a TCU player down. That might just take us, I don't know, they stopped the clock. I was going to say that otherwise would take us into halftime. But, I mean, the Buffs have to just stay disciplined, don't concede before the end of half, and they can go into halftime with their heads held high. They fought hard. It's a tie game, and the opportunity exists. It's just 45 more minutes left in this one. I mean, 45 minutes and 54 seconds left in this one for them to perhaps steal a huge win against the 1 seed in the conference.
Thrown down the line, knocked away by the Horned Frogs. Another take here on this left-hand side, and now Servando Berna will call that second throw and back. Buff's trying to make some easy work, and I think he wants to talk to the officials in the press box right now. Make sure the clock is started. Stopped right now at 54 seconds to go. Still trying to figure out something. Talking with Caroline Kelly right now. Servano Berna in the orange top, black shorts, black socks, blows his whistle, and we're back underway. Clock continues to roll as Colorado tries to find some work down the far side. TCU trying to win it back, and a free kick given towards the Horned Frogs. Some good work by Cameron Lancaster on that far side.
Got to track back here for the Buffs. Just 30 seconds left before half. Conceding here would be brutal.
Baker, Mooney, looking up pitch, glides it, thwarts it over towards Martinez. Martinez with some space to work in the left half space. Ball trickled into the 18, cleared away by Faith Leba. 15 seconds remaining in the first half. Mooney brings it down, controls it, pips it up, too far for Castaigne. Knights has it in her hands, just thrust it at her right hip, walking forward, and that will do it for the first half here from CPKC Stadium. Colorado 1, TCU 1 in this 9th seed versus 1st seed matchup from CPKC Stadium. First goal scored by Hope Leva just 40 seconds into the match, before it was Cameron Lancaster roughly 30 minutes later to give TCU a little bit of an edge right now. Game tied. If it's continued to be tied after 90 minutes, we may head to extra time and penalty kicks. Luke, I want to get your thoughts. I mean, obviously Colorado started this game off with a bang, but it's been all TCU since. How much is the scoreline surprising for you?
Honestly, you're looking at a guy who thought Colorado had a really good shot going into this game, so I think for me, it's not particularly surprising. For most people, I can understand why the scoreline would be kind of surprising. Really, if you're going to pull off an upset against a team as good as TCU, you have to take advantage of your set pieces. And when you have a flip thrower like Ava Priest who could just put the ball in the middle of the box seemingly from anywhere, every throw in is a set piece. Colorado took advantage of it. They did their job. TCU obviously, scored. That's expected. Most goals in the league. Haven't lost a game. But for me, the scoreline isn't incredibly surprising. What is surprising is kind of TCU's at least impatience for the first 35 minutes of the half. They did a good job kind of settling in towards the end of the half, and you have to think they might come out of halftime pretty fired up, pretty aggressive, and ready to pounce on this Colorado team. But for the first 35 minutes of the half, they looked kind of restless and skittish and almost like overly aggressive, disappointed that they weren't getting the chance that they usually get and getting the opportunities that they usually get. Colorado's a good team. They also were playing 5, sometimes even 6 at the back. They were really parking that bus. And so for TCU, the way you break down a formation like that is not by firing from distance. It's not by getting impatient. That's what Colorado wants you to do. The way you break down that kind of formation, take it slow. You build it up. You're going to get a cross. You're going to get a through ball. Something is going to work. Something that you're going to find, the open space. You're going to get a free runner, and you're going to put one right behind Jordan Knights, just like they did to equalize at 1. So in the second half, what I'm looking forward from TCU, what I want to see from them is patience, because they're in control in this game. I don't think it takes a genius to realize, listen, TCU is controlling this game, and Colorado's kind of okay with that. They're kind of conceding control. They're just staying back, parking a lot behind the ball, and doing their best to operate in the counterattack. So TCU is going to come out with control, but I want to see, a little bit more patience, maybe utilize the width a little bit more. I understand they're playing 5 at the back, but Colorado is really packing it in and putting 5 defenders inside the 18. TCU's best chance at the end of the half came when they were able to turn the corner, get parallel with the end line, and then put a ball into the back post. If they can do that in the second half, they can find themselves putting 1 or 2 more on the board. For Colorado, take advantage when you get it, because you're not going to get a lot of opportunities, but you're going to get 1 or 2, and you got to take advantage when they're presented to them.
So that's halftime from CPKC Stadium on the banks of the Missouri River. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back for the second half right after this. Stay tuned, folks. You're listening to the 2024 Sprouts Farmers Market Big 12 Soccer Championships on Blaze Radio and the Blaze Sports YouTube page.
I thought I released a good album until Naughty Step said it was bad.
I hear this project and I am frustrated.
I better listen to Blaze Radio.
Hi, I'm Pedro. Did you know you can listen to anything? Blaze Radio says you can, and so do I. I believe that until listened to, every song, album, EP, and DJ set is hot until proven otherwise.
And that's why I fight for you, Headbangers. Hot FM.
Hot FM on Blaze Radio. Listen live every Monday at 11 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com. That's blazeradioonline.com.
Is what I wanted, is what I've been waiting for these cars to come off of this corner. And guys, it's showtime. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing today, boys.
Are you a racing fan or want to learn more about the sport? Join Cooper Burns and Eric List every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Blaze Radio as they discuss everything from NASCAR to dirt racing and more on Fuel for Thought.
How to throw a football. How to hit a baseball off a bat. How to make a basketball go through the hoop and make that swish sound. These are all questions we wonder when we are learning how to play a sport. But have you ever wondered what it may be like to interview someone who is in the sports industry? Like, how do I become a broadcaster? How do I become a graphic designer? How do I become a public address announcer? It's all here. How to Sports, your go-to sports industry leading show here on Blaze Radio and blazeradioonline.com. Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. with Ryan Pasesnik, Max Williams, and Tyler Wargo. How to Sports. It's in the game.
Grab your mates and join us for the finest sports show on Blaze Radio, The Irish Hello.
With the wisdom of the Irish duo, you'll have the knowledge of old pals at the pub, sharing each and every moment.
Join Aidan O'Neill and Shay Maloney every Wednesday night from 8:30 to 9:30 for breakdowns of sports news across the world as a pot of gold awaits.
Welcome to 4 on 4, where we have all 4 experts on the 4 major sports. Join Sammy Newt, Dylan Wickman, Justin DeHaas, and Sean Brennan on Blaze Radio as they break down an exciting semester of sports that includes the MLB postseason, top NFL storylines, the biggest offseason news from the NBA and NHL, and anything relevant happening in the sports world. At the end of the day, we're just 4 roommates that love to talk sports, so join the conversation. Listen live on blazeradioonline.com every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Arizona time, or if you missed us, check us out on Spotify, where you can hear all of our shows.
Hi, I'm Casey McNulty.
And I'm Brooklyn Cohen.
And welcome to The Hot Seat, where each week we answer your burning sports questions. Want to hear us settle sports debates and talk about our biggest takes in the sports world? Well, we've got you covered.
As 2 former athletes and current sports journalists, we offer the perspective of what it's like to be on the field or court
or pool.
So tune in every week at 10 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com.
See you in the hot seat.
Coming this fall, Friday Night Lights Camera Action, Blaze Radio's premier sports movie talk show returns.
There's no crying in Friday Night Lights Camera Action.
If you ain't first, then watch Friday Night Lights Camera Action.
Guys, there are rich teams and there are poor teams. And then there's 50 feet of crap. And then there's people who don't watch Friday Night Lights Camera Action.
Remember the time Friday Night Lights Camera Action showed up at halftime and Blaze Radio won the Bourbon Bowl? Friday Night Lights Camera Action, Friday starting at 9 p.m. Arizona time on blazeradioonline.com.
Now go out there and take it.
What's up, everyone? Life is confusing, so I, Natalia Marin, have decided to answer some of life's wonders, asking the question, does it work? AKA the name of my new show, Does It Work? Will have fun conversations featuring my hours of research, evaluating if cultural phenomenons, government systems, and psychological theories actually work. Make sure to listen live every Monday at 9 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com to see, if it works.
Just a music show on Tuesdays from 3:30 to 4:30. A show about sampling. Hosted by a city boy named Shane Saya. Talking about free samples.
Ever feel like you don't quite fit the mold?
A little unorthodox breaks it completely.
Join us as we dive into the messy intersections of faith, identity, and culture with stories that don't always follow the rules.
From in-depth interviews
to live event coverage,
we're here to explore what it really means to belong or not.
Join us, Emily Fox-Million
and Abe Mogelson,
on Sunday at 11 a.m.
Because sometimes the best way to make sense of it all is by getting a little unorthodox.
Yes, sir. Nah, I'm hearing what you're saying, but like, what's your take though? Yeah, he's cool, but Heisman? That team don't got nobody on there who could shoot any type of threes. I'm supposed to believe they're a playoff team? You're not answering the question. The question is, who is the better football team right now? Hey, I like that take right there. And it's not even close. What are we talking about? There's no midfielder as naturally talented as him in the last 20 years. Tune in to Let's Talk Takes every week, hosted by me, Devin Henderson, where I bring in different guests each week and we debate the most pressing topics in a variety of sports. I'm talking NFL, NBA, college basketball, college football. We even gonna talk about some soccer. Tune in every week, Thursday, 2 to 3 p.m. right here on BlazeRadioOnline.com.
Hey, it's me again. It's your good friend, Max Cepeda. And the only guarantee I can give you is this. Any Tuesday night, anything can happen.
God, you're so good at interviewing, Max. Jeez, someone give him an award.
It ain't about the game, it's about the game. You feel me, Max?
That's no,
it ain't about the game, it's about the game.
She decided she was too good for Disney, and I was like,
she wins no matter what. Taylor
crazy.
Swift is always right.
Blaze Radio presents The World According to Zippy, Season 3. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. only on Blaze Radio and BlazeRadioOnline.com and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, why are you crying?
Charlie Blackman's gone!
What do you mean Charlie Blackman's gone? You got Zach Veen that will be ready to be called up in center field.
Who's Zach Veen?
You get to hear all about Zach Veen every Monday from 8 to 9 on Up on Deck on Blaze Radio.
Every Monday, baby!
The following is the Fatal 4-Way Podcast, and it is scheduled for one fall.
Join Luke Carter, Justin Lacertosa, Luca Lindo, and Dylan Oliver every Monday from 4 to 4:30, where we talk about all the high-flying, table smashing, eyebrow raising, limousine riding action, and professional wrestling.
Welcome to your favorite show where everything is untitled, unscripted, and unhinged.
Us Podsmiths and Yes Podsmiths are what professional podcasters are called. Let's just say we're your favorite Podsmiths.
On our show, we discuss a variety of different topics and segments, from the latest news to your favorite tunes.
And it's not just us. Every week we bring in a special guest to shake things up.
So join me, CJ Stevenson,
and me, Kate Nakamura, every Monday at 4:30 p.m. on Blaze Radio.
Hey ya! Want to stay up to date with what's up in the gaming industry? Want to listen to a girl yap about her gaming opinions and hot takes? Then tune in Wednesdays at 4 p.m. for Power Up on BlazeRadioOnline.com to join me, Chaz Alvin, as I walk you through the latest and greatest in gaming news, from PC to console, from indie to AAA, while also discussing what makes video games such an interesting and engaging art form.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to CPKC Stadium on the banks of the Missouri River. We are here to start the second half as Jump Around comes over the stadium speakers. The 9 seed Colorado Buffaloes with 1 goal in the first half, and the 1 seed, the undefeated TCU Horned Frogs, also with 1 goal in the first half. So a surprising draw after 45 minutes, Mihir. What are you looking forward to in the second half for both these teams?
Yeah, I want to see if Colorado can get another chance. You know, they really came out of the break and they wanted to get that goal, right? They wanted to assert their dominance and then just really, really hone their defensive craft. And to be honest with you, when we talked about the lineups in the pregame, Luke, it's nowhere close to what we're seeing on the pitch right now. And some of it comes down to how Colorado has gotten back and defended, right? They had a dream start, and now they can put themselves in a dream position. For TCU, it's just about simply attacking, right? Can they find it during the run of play? Can they find it on a set piece or a corner kick? How can they go through and really find the best chances they can get?
And it's gonna seasons come down to this, Mihir. I mean, TCU's the 1 seed comfortably into the NCAA tournament, we have to say. I mean, regardless, if you're ranked in the top 25, you're probably going. That's probably just the way it goes. And for Colorado, they don't get in unless they win this tournament. So the second half begins with TCU controlling possession and sending it back to their back line, the center back partnership. Right now it's with Jenny Imethune. Work it over to Mooney. Mooney trying to work it around. TCU doing pretty well to control possession as they like to do in the first half as advantage is played following foul. Nope, the whistle will blow. And called over for a chat here is number 17, Greer McGuire. She'll be given a warning. She's on a yellow, so she's got to be careful here. Colorado was very physical in attacking TCU in the first half. Do you expect that physicality to continue?
Yes, I think so, and you have to kind of be physical to really just knock off TCU, right? I think if you're Eric Bell, you have to go in and say, hey, we didn't have the best chances. At times we didn't look like the best team, but, hey, we've got momentum going forward. We have possession, and that might be enough to drive that momentum.
A free kick for TCU from the edge of the attacking area. Diorio will swing it into the box, takes a deflection off the head of Leba, and will trickle out towards half field. Falls to Jace Holly, who does her best to chase it down. Holly still trying to pursue possession. It's at the feet of Plashko, Megan Plashko, the TCU keeper. She'll get it out wide. Comes to Baker. Baker standing over the ball. Finds Mooney. Finds Imethune. Imethune finds her center back partner in Mooney. And the Horned Frogs just content to hold the ball for as long as they can, playing with a very patient style of attack. One that's led to a lot of goals for them this year as the through ball is attempted to work through but takes a couple deflections and falls to Hennessy. Hennessy will attack here from the right wing, cuts into the box, tries one, but it hits the side netting and will go out of bounds. It will be a Colorado goal kick. We saw that work for TCU at the end of the first half, kind of operating, taking it on your outside foot, cutting towards the end line, and then trying to swing across into the back post. Do you think that's the best kind of mode of attack against this Colorado back line?
I think so. I mean, just based off what I've seen from the Colorado defense, they're playing much more open in the formation, right? In the first minute or so of the second half, you could tell they were playing a 5-4-1 where Jace Holly's playing up top, and I actually thought she was going to start this match. She's been coming off the bench to try to drive that Colorado attack, but that's kind of what Danny Sanchez is going to want to do, is just really sit his midfielders and defenders back there. And for TCU, it does give you some space to try to work through the wings, but then it comes down to the cross, then it comes down to a shot, and that's just how soccer works, right? It just comes down to how the processes go in your favor.
Hennessy with it now. She still has it, trying to operate up that right wing, gets it back in here. A field switching pass will fall to the feet of Mooney, who now is on the far side. She's going to try to work it up that far sideline, as ultimately finds the feet of Pena in the middle of the field. She'll get it back to Mooney. Mooney looking to switch the field back to Imethune. Imethune with it now. She'll reverse it. TCU just content to pass it around this Colorado shape here. Look for the first sliver of opportunity to present itself to get inside of this strong Colorado formation. But as of right now, as I say it, there it goes. As it now finds the feet of Brown. She looks up ahead, looking for options. But it ends up back at the feet of Imethune. The Horned Frogs doing their best to stay on the edge of the Buffaloes 18 here as they creep closer and closer. Here's a potential attack from Patton. Takes a couple step overs, but it's strongly deflected away by Leba, and now back at the feet of Patton, who will work it back, and the Horned Frogs again trying to attack forward. Here's Brown with it. She's in the middle of the field. Gets it to Pena, the all-league midfielder, the midfielder of the year in the Big 12. Tries to look towards the edge of the 18, but it's parried away. Falling to the feet of Imethune.
Yeah, you talked about Pena too, but she's kind of been quiet as well. We've seen her really play that far back. She's only 5'1", Luke, but the thing is, if you can play the ball, if your passing's great, hey, a lot of teams would love to have you. But the thing is that she's kind of been cut off. She can't really find those avenues to work right through the middle. She loves playing direct, and that's not really what's been working for TCU today.
And you have to think Danny Sanchez is happy with the fact they're holding Pena to a relatively quiet afternoon. She tried one from distance in the first half, but it just skimmed the top of the crossbar. Here she is now, though, edge of the 18. Gets a pass and receives it back. Tries to play it through to Kelly, but it finds nothing but Colorado shin pads. Now a couple deflections, and the ball teeters towards the sideline. A run there potentially made and continuing to be made. Here comes Jace Holly. Jace Holly down the left sideline. Good chance early for Colorado. Takes a couple deflections. Now she's on the edge of the 18. Swings into the box. There's nobody there, but the second run could result in something. Here with it now is Laura Gobin, who immediately turns it over. But Diorio has no option but to clear it out to the sideline. So you know what time it is? It's flip throw o'clock. Here comes Ava Priest jogging to the far sideline for the flip throw. She has, gotten on ESPN with. Highlight of the first half was a flip throw from Priest delivered in the box for Hope Leba to deposit into the top right corner. This is a very similar setup to that opportunity. Mayor, how does Colorado take advantage of these moments to score goals?
You got to get your head to it.
Flip throw guides itself under the front of the box, takes a couple deflections, and now Diorio will have it. It's flipped on by a TCU defender who will just push it towards the far sideline. It'll trickle out of bounds. It'll be another Colorado throw, this time a lot closer to the center field line.
Yeah, but when you get into that area, Luke, you want to try to really make advantage of that set piece. And again, she was playing this kind of on that right wing, and Priest really had the momentum going forward. So that's where you need those kind of set pieces, right? A lot of coaches sometimes say that. It's like when you get the ball back, you got to treat that like a goal situation, whether it's a corner kick, whether it's a free kick in general, right? Some indirect kicks can lead to something going forward, and it's really important for this team.
Rosen playing a ball through, looking for an option down low. There's a collision in the box. Colorado clamoring for a penalty. It was a through ball for Jace Holly, and Plashko came out with seemingly a little bit of an intent for the ball, but really wanted to wipe out Holly, who was collided with. Bodies flying. Holly's still down, staring at the sky. The referee making sure she's okay, seeming to say no penalty, now walking towards the Colorado bench. The entire Buffs bench threw their hands up, clamoring for a foul call. They're not going to get it, but thankfully for us and for everybody listening and watching here in the stadium, Holly up off the ground on her feet, and now we have a Colorado corner kick. The Buffs kind of on the front foot a little bit in these last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think they were trying to do what they did in the first half. Get a goal and then go defend.
To take the corner kick looks to be Rachel Rosen. She'll put it into the box. It's live, tipped around. It falls to the feet. Here's Rosenbaum. She puts it back post. No. Priest with it now. Back to the feet of Rosenbaum. She could reset for the Buffs. She's trying to, and she shakes Hennessy. Now she'll kick it all the way back to Knights, who will collect it pretty close to half field. Knights coming out aggressively from her box here is going to have to distribute. Now she sends one deep into the box. Here's Hope Leba. Puts it up, tries to head it in the direction of the goal, but no. It's flicked on, and it'll trickle towards Knights, who's way out of her net. She's got to come in and make a clearance, and she does. Got a little bit testy there. Diorio had a chance, sort of, to stick her boot out and get it past Knights a mere 40 yards from net, but Knights does a good job to get the ball out of danger, and now Colorado continues to hold possession. Looking up ahead, Priest with it. Now she goes to the ball. A challenge coming in from a TCU defender is not called. That was a nice tackle there. Mooney got her foot in there, made her presence felt, as it'll be TCU build up from the back. Plashko now to Mooney, who operates it over to Imethune. Center back partnership starting almost every game for the Horned Frogs this year, being a pretty good duo and combo, leading them to a defeatless season in the Big 12 with only 2 draws. Other than that, winning 9 games.
And that's what you want if you're Eric Bell and TCU, right? Whenever you go, you want to have a good, solid defense that really builds.
Through ball here to Diorio. She could have a chance to fling one on from the back end. She does. It's flicked on, but a nice save and a scoop made by Jordan Knights. She did a good job to not dive there, not necessarily be over-aggressive. Diorio got in behind the Colorado defense, but it was very close to the corner flag. She kind of to flick one in, trying to find the foot of Caroline Kelly. Kelly could only try to backheel it into the net, but not a lot of pace on the shot. It leaves for an easy scoop up from Knights, who sends it deep towards the TCU back line. Ultimately, it's batted around and controlled again by the Horned Frogs. Here they come. Swung out wide. This is Patton now. Patton on the near side, closer to our sideline. Looks to the middle of the field. Brown is standing, not moving, limping around, and the ref is going to call a injury timeout. Tell the trainers to come out and get Brown, who started at CDM today for the Horned Frogs. Brown able to stay on her feet, but seems to be in some sort of pain. Unsure about what part of the body or what might have caused it.
Yeah, it looks like a knock to the face area, really. I think she's pointing at her eye from our vantage point.
Perhaps could have gone up for an aerial challenge, ended up cracking skulls.
I mean, that's always something that you have to kind of stop in the play, head and neck area, right?
Yeah.
We did see that on Wednesday, Baylor, Arizona. There was a challenge going forward, and then one of the Wildcats swung at one of the Bears. She gets sent off, and simply put, I mean, it was a push, and again, it was a push kind of in the midsection. Maybe it would have been a yellow because it was in the head and neck area, ends up being a red card. So you always want to be careful when things go into that space. But it seems like Brown's going to be fine. She'll walk it off. She'll walk off under her own power. She'll probably be back in a few minutes.
To a smattering of applause from the TCU fans here in attendance at CPKC Stadium. Going to do a score check for you. It's TCU 1, Colorado 1, 36-42 left in this second half. We've had a pretty good game on the banks of the Missouri River here in Kansas City. As now some substitutions to take off Brown. On will come Lancaster. Cameron Lancaster has a goal and 5 assists to her name. The Manfield, Texas native, known best for distributing, will work well with Pena in the middle of that midfield, as it'll be TCU ball again. They'll build up from the back here. The Horned Frogs trying to find holes in this stout Colorado defense that's played well so far. It's Patton with it. She gets it back to the center of the pitch. Reversing field now with Mooney at her feet. She's still on her defensive half, even though most of the TCU players in the attacking half. Hayward from Colorado sticks her foot out and deflects the pass, but it'll still fall right back to the feet of Mooney, who now switches it to Imethune. Imethune looking for options. Horned Frogs trying to move the ball around. There's a through ball, and just like I mentioned, here comes Lancaster up the right wing. She could cross one in here. She has a good angle to do it. She tries one. It floats towards the middle of the box. Batted down by Knights. She falls. Ball still loose. Colorado trying to get it out, and they do. They clear it to the sideline. That was a nice play by Knights to bat it down, but she'd probably like to keep her feet next time. Potentially saving play there. I believe that was Rosenbaum who cleared it for the Buffs. As here's the throw in now. Patton with it on the near sideline. She gets it out. Hennessy looking for options. She finds Lancaster. Lancaster, edge of the box, gets it in. Here's Kelly. Kelly tried to look for Patton running down that right wing, but still on the edge of the D. It's TCU with it. A nice interception made by Hayward. She tips it out, but ultimately it'll fall to the feet of Imethune, who's now drifted into the Colorado attacking half. 21 of 22 players in the Colorado attacking half right now. Only TCU's keeper remains in her defensive half. Perhaps a tale of the tape for what they're here to see in the second half as Colorado just clings defensively against this good TCU team. Here's Bellerio with it. She checks to the inside, now cuts to the outside. On her outside boot and a nice tackle made. That was Laura Govin, who I talked highly of in the first half, continuing to do her job, shutting down Diorio pretty well here in the second half.
Yeah, and again, you probably want players who want to lock in, especially players that are playing in the midfield, right? You know your center backs can do that. You know your fullbacks can retreat. When you can have a center midfielder like Govin just play back in that space, can be really versatile. That can help you get some results like these.
Hennessy with it, edge of the D. She'll attack towards the box, begging for runs, getting them but not choosing to pass it. She now works into the 18. She shoots for the left foot. It takes a deflection. Fires come back right out to her, but you can't necessarily control it. It'll trickle over the end line and be a goal kick for Colorado with 34-24 left in this second half. It's TCU 1, Colorado 1, and Jordan Knights will be trying a goal kick for the Buffs to push the ball hopefully closer to the TCU goal and give the Colorado defenders a bit of a respite from kind of digging into the trenches here as they have had to do for most of the game.
And I think if you're Knights too, you see the field better than anybody. So you're trying to see, how do you get that ball forward? How do you give chances?
Nice run here by Leba, sealing off her defender with her back to goal. Now she tries to put a ball in the box, but nobody home. Priest can't get to it in time. And here comes the counterattack from TCU. Perhaps trying to take advantage of an understaffed Colorado back line, as many players just made the run forward, but a nice play there by Jace Holly for Colorado. And now Priest with it. Priest tagging up the middle of the field. She swings it out to Leba. Leba has a run to her right. It's Govin. She chooses to use it. Here comes Govin. Govin has Diorio behind her. Govin goes down, no call. It's batted around. Govin asking for a call. Diorio saying nuh-uh, as it ends up at the feet of Pena, and TCU will again hold for possession and build up here from the back. Mooney over to Imethune. Imethune pushes it forward. Now with the feet here of Patton. Patton could push it down the field, and she does, trying to work the ball through two Colorado defenders. She successfully gets it to the area of Kelly, but Faith Leba there doing pretty well today to clear the ball out of danger back there. She's done well on the feet of Caroline Kelly this entire game, who has 10 goals to her name and was Big 12 All-Conference first team this year for the Texas Christian University Horned Frogs. Now on the far side, it comes to Pena, who will get it back to Mooney, who will move, looking to push the ball up the middle of the field. She does successfully. Here's Hennessy. Now Pena. Pena to Imethune. a heavy touch there in the midfield, and Priest takes over and is fouled. Taking a heavy touch for TCU as Priest intercepted the touch and tried to go the other way, but was immediately tripped up and fouled by Lauren Memley.
Yeah, Memley's been going all over the place. Priest has as well, and again, if you can have a sparky player like that, as the case for Danny Sanchez, that can give you a lot more energy going forward. Again, we talk about the flip throws, and Ava Priest is known for that now on the national stage with ESPN, but that's what you kind of need in situations like these. Some players that can just all of a sudden get that spark going forward, and all of a sudden the defense needs to retreat back and get some more numbers to defend.
The ball into the box takes a couple of deflections as Rio tracks all the way back, and a potential turnover here. Priest could almost intercept it. She does. Now she plays through. Here comes Rosen. Rosen trying to work on that near side in the corner, trying to put a ball in the box. Tries to get through a TCU defender unsuccessfully. Nicely cleared out, and a good job done there by Patton. It'll be a flip throw opportunity for Priest on this near sideline as we see some changes being made for the Buffs. Seems like they're going to be taking off Hope Leba and bringing on Shira James, two players who often start, two of the highest scorers on this team. Hope Leba, 7 goals to her name, leads the team. But James no slouch either. She has 6 to herself, so that's the first and second leading scorers on this roster. You know you can find goals when you turn to them. Priest going to wind up for this flip throw on the near side corner flag, just a yard past the corner. She flips into the box, then it goes hurtling towards the back post. Body's hitting the floor. Colorado asking for a foul to no avail as the ball's cleared out by the TCU defender. It looks like it'll trickle out of bounds as badly as the Buffs would probably want to keep that in just to maintain some offensive flow to the game.
And again, that's a good chance by Colorado. They're trying to take their moments. And I think the biggest thing they're doing, Luke, is they're taking TCU out of the game a little bit. It's kind of a little bit weirder than we thought it was going to be. We thought TCU was going to continue to hold possession and they were going to try to go forward. But then again, I think this TCU team also likes to play on the counterattack. That's how they get their goals. That's how they really surprise some of these teams, even though they are the top seed in the Big 12, even though they are unbeaten in conference play. They do like to reset, you know, and it's still like there's still kind of a conundrum of what do you do when you have possession. And we saw that in the first half where this team was just trying to take the most of their options, right? They weren't really being as aggressive. They were being patient. And again, there's nothing wrong with being patient, but how do you translate patience to dominance?
A nice tackle there by Lebo. Wins the ball back for Colorado, and they play through to Priest. Here comes Priest. There's nobody in front of her, but she's at a weird angle, so it's going to be hard for her to do anything with it. She now chops inside, now turns back outside. Looking for options, trying to cross that edge of the 18 now, and it's poked away. A good piece of defending there from Imethune. And Pena tries to keep it in off of a heavy touch, but it goes out of bounds. That'll be Buff's ball. Colorado trying to, seemingly with this holding of possession, trying to force TCU into feeling kind of like Sisyphus, rolling the builder to the top of the hill, doing all the work, building towards that goal, and then suddenly when you lose possession for 5 minutes, it feels like the boulder rolls right back down to the bottom of the hill, and suddenly they have to do all that work again. And when they can hold possession for even 3 minutes, 4 minutes at a time, it makes TCU kind of feel like they lose all their offensive momentum and that they have to start again, building up from the back and inching their way closer. Here's a swing into the box and a chance. Holly stuck her leg out. It was a nice swing into the box by Rachel Rosen. Holly stuck her leg out but pokes it just a bit high of the goal. Not high enough to go into the river like we saw Arizona commit a couple times on Wednesday, but still high enough to clear the crossbar and go out of bounds, landing into the seats. So it'll be a goal kick for TCU and a possession I'm sure that they won't want to relinquish as we see some changes made. 7 Castaigne, wearing number 7, coming on for Caroline Kelly. She's a threat up front who had a really good run and a couple potential good looks at goal in the first half.
Yeah, and again, that TCU team, they've been playing a lot down the middle, right? Pena's had a chance. Castaigne as well. Lancaster had the goal. They really try to go down the middle. So when they have to go direct out, or rather when they have to go out to the wing, that's when they really have to change things up and really decide which personnel, which person, which player really attacks, who goes one-on-one, who does this different things.
Pena with it now. She gets to Brown in the middle of the field but receives the ball right back. She's kind of out of her position as she plays at the edge of the 18. Here's Castaigne. Castaigne looking for options on the corner of the 18, but it gets it now to Pena. Pena's about 35 yards out on the near side. She swings it to Brown in the middle of the field. Brown looking for options. There's 27:43 left in the second half, and TCU is tied with Colorado 1-1 here at CPKC Stadium. They're looking for Castaigne. She loses the ball. She gets back to Lancaster, though. Lancaster plays Diorio through. Diorio looking for options. Couple step overs, attacks the inside, could curl it on her inside foot. She does. Looking for an option in the box. There's a nice slide tackle there by Faith Leba, making her presence felt in the middle of that box. Now Price gets it. Here comes the Buffs on the counterattack. Looking for a through ball. They play it out wide. I think that'll fall to the feet of Jace Holly. Holly looking for options. She is trying to work it up the middle of the field and chooses to get it to Hayward. Hayward could switch the field, but she doesn't. She instead plays it to Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum now plays it through. Here's Holly with it. She could put one into the box. She could think about it, and she sure does. But instead they're going to say a foul, or was she perhaps offsides?
No, it seemed like a foul. I think James is really tangling up with Imethune and a lot of the TCU defenders back there. So just try to make sure everybody's okay. Honestly, that could have been something that could have gone against Imethune and TCU, which would have been a penalty. But because the ball was not in the area, I guess James just had the upper hand, and in that case, the upper hand's not exactly that good.
Yeah, the kind of foul that calling a penalty on that might seem kind of excessive, so instead they just choose to call it on the offensive player, but probably give both teams a warning. Letting Imethune know, the next time that happens, it might be a spot kick. Nonetheless, TCU continues to hold the ball. They are here building possession from their own end as they try to work into the Colorado half. 26-16 left in the second half, tied with the Buffs of Colorado 1-1. Here's Patton with it. She gets it to Pena. Pena swings over. Imethune trying to feed the middle, and she does. Lancaster turns, looking for options, but she's met with black shirts as Colorado continues to pack it in defensively with their 5-at-the-back system. TCU now getting a little bit closer, about 30 yards out now. Here's a touch. Hennessy now gets into the 18. Could cross it. She thinks about it. She hasn't yet. Looking for options. Back to goal. Gets it out to Pena. Pena from 30 yards out. We've seen her shoot from here before, but she plays a nice through ball to Castaigne as there's a good slide tackle by Faith Leba, and that ball goes right out. Leba not playing around today, not messing around today. Puts her shoulder into Castaigne, but goes for the ball and gets the ball, so no foul. And again, making Castaigne taste grass inside the 18.
Yeah, and I think Castaigne just had to recollect after that challenge and be like, well, that's what happens when you go up against Faith Leba. You gotta be ready for a physical challenge.
Leba, a big physical defender, 19 games played, 19 games started for Danny Sanchez and crew this year as the corner goes a bit far and is batted out behind the goal. I'm going to say last touch by the Horned Frogs. So now, with 25 minutes left in here, it's still 1-1. Nobody seems to have made much of an advancement yet. You could argue that Colorado might have had the best chance of the half. So with last 25 minutes, last quarter, not even quarter, just last 25 minutes, how do these teams evolve? How does one team kind of take advantage of the other and perhaps come out of here with a win in regulation?
It will come down to just one moment. I honestly think about that because both of these teams, from what we've seen, they're evenly matched. They have similar tactics based off what we've seen in the second half where TCU wants to drive, but so does Colorado. And I think they're more open to driving in the second half where ideally they just wanted to park the bus, then TCU got the goal, and now they have to kind of reinvent themselves. So it's just based on who can really attack the moment and get that third goal of the match and the second goal for the team.
Imethune gets it out to Mooney. Mooney now on the far side. She's the ball at her feet a lot, just looking to push the ball up, try to break this big wall of Colorado. Pena with it now. She gets it to her midfield partner in Lancaster. Lancaster trying to play Castaigne through, but who else was there but Hope Leba to seal off Castaigne and let the ball roll over the end line. This will be another goal kick as we'll see Lola Stanley getting ready to check in. Who will she take off the field? She will take off Jace Holly. Jace Holly, who has that clutch gene. I mean, you want to talk about somebody who could win you a game. Jace Holly, 4 game-winning goals on the season and 4 goals on the season. So all of her goals game-winning. So perhaps Danny Sanchez saving her for a good stint in the last 10 minutes could be that clutch player for his Buffs as they look to escape today with an upset win. But the goal kick from Knights is played a little short and is controlled by TCU, who's going to kick it out of bounds and give Colorado a throw in here.
We're seeing a lot of substitutes really come into this match for Colorado. They're kind of all camped out on this left wing, this left-hand side. So that might be where Danny Sanchez and crew really try to attack. Not now, but maybe in the next 10-15 minutes or so. Bring those players back on. They've got fresh legs. They've got some energy. And really try to change the momentum if it's still tied up.
Just trying to throw a wrench into TCU's system. Just make them kind of be uncomfortable and try to be something that they're not. That's the whole goal of Colorado today as they sit back in a defensive formation with only one player behind the ball. as it's now with Mooney. She gets it to Pena. Pena inside the center circle, now gets it towards the near sideline. Here's Patton. Patton pushing forward. She's about 35 yards out now, looking for options. Now cuts it back. Finds Pena in the middle. Pena could step into one from far away. She's not afraid to try from distance, but her pass is left a little bit short and is intercepted. With Shira James now. James with her back to goal, turns it over when looking for an option and gets it back to Pena, who controls it literally at the center dot. Gets to Patton, now back to Imathune, who gets it to Brown. Good little triangle passing for TCU. Too bad this is all happening 45 yards away from the goal. Still deflected occasionally. Now back with Brown. Brown to Pena. Pena trying to get in behind, trying to send a through ball into an attacker, but ultimately finds Patton parallel to her. Patton up ahead. Hennessy down this near sideline. She takes a couple touches, now swings on the outside of her boot. She could put one in the box here, cuts back, takes on her right foot, attacks towards the end line, trips over the ball, but gets back, and it's batted towards the sideline. Somehow Hennessy didn't lose that entire time. Some impressive array of skill moves for TCU as they continue to hold possession. It's now back with Hennessy. She finds in the middle Brown. Brown takes a touch. It's deflected, but then back off her chest, and the through ball is played, but it's going to be scooped up by Knights, who takes care of a through ball that was a little bit too long for the Horned Frogs. As we're now inside of 22 minutes. We have 21-21 left in this game. Colorado 1, TCU 1 here at CPKC Stadium on Saturday, November 2nd. The big boot from Knights just finds the feet of a TCU center back as the Horned Frogs will continue to build up. Colorado seemingly content to defend with their lives for now. Here's Patton with it. She comes up the near sideline. Looking for an option, trying to play through. Nope, just finds the feet of Priest, who looks up for Hayward. Hayward in the middle of the field. She's kind of been on a solo mission in the midfield so far today for Colorado, and she's done pretty well. She plays up to Muschetti, who finds Priest. Priest drags back and now pushes towards the sideline, but her touch is a little heavy, and that'll be controlled by Pena, who gets to Patton. Patton tries to kick it, but it's deflected out of bounds by Priest, and it'll be a TCU throw-in at the edge of their defending third.
I wanted to say this earlier, but Colorado's defense has done their homework because TCU has scored a lot of goals just off this simple interplay. One-touch passing, one-touch shooting, and I know that's a very advanced thing that's taught at a lot of soccer schools, a lot of academies, but TCU has made it such a common thing that it's helped them really go forward. And, you know, sometimes that's the most important thing in soccer, right? What do you do when you warm up? You pass, right? And then you work your way into shooting and you work your way into the different fundamentals of the game. But that's what TCU is very good at. They want those one-time shots. They want those one-time passes to really draw you out. And to be honest with you, Colorado's kind of really gotten on the end of that.
Stanley tries to play a deep through ball into Shira James, but it's a little too low, and it's controlled by Mooney, who now finds Hennessy. And here comes Lancaster now with the ball for TCU. Lancaster back to Pena. Pena to Brown. Brown back to Pena. They're operating on the edge of the center circle here. Finds Patton. Patton back to Pena. Just shoulder checking, constantly looking up, looking for channels to attack the stout Colorado defense in. It's with Brown now. She gets it back. Getting over to Imathune. I mean, here, these Horned Frogs have been looking for channels this entire game. Is there a point where they get desperate and maybe try something they haven't tried yet today?
Not right now. I think they still have some chances, you know. I think it still goes down to, as the game goes on, the game probably goes into their favor, right? They are the favorites. They have the more possession. They have the better players, right? It's just a matter of when.
If they can stretch this game out into a long ordeal, a long affair, their talent will ultimately show itself a chance to shine as the cross for TCU goes a little bit wide and behind the net. So it'll be another Knights goal kick. Inside of 19 now as here comes back onto the pitch Hope Leba. She will take off Ava Priest, who scored the winner against Utah on Wednesday. I'm sure Priest will come back and cameo before the end of this one. But with 18:32 left, it's TCU 1 and Colorado 1 at CPKC Stadium. And Knights is here to try a goal kick with maybe any hope of just holding possession for Colorado, or at this point, just giving it to TCU and ducking and praying before penalty kicks can come. Still, this is a Colorado team that went 1 for 4 from the spot during the regular season. So penalty kicks might not be their forte, might not be their strength. But anything that gives them a path to win will give them a path to win in this one. As the header is flicked on by Kelly and pushed ahead, and here comes a good chance. TCU attacking, putting in the middle of the box, and a couple deflections, and it's taken by Miranda. That was a pretty good chance for Castaigne. She had an opportunity there to put one in the middle of the box. She even got through the Colorado defense, unlike a lot of her teammates today, but couldn't ultimately find a body to cross the ball to, and it was deflected. A nice play by Dawn Miranda. Patton now with it. Pena trying to work in the middle of the field. The senior swings it far out. Finding the feet of Baker. Baker back to Mooney. Mooney gives it to Pena. Here's Pena trying to operate from the middle of the field. She's about 35 yards away from the net. With Lancaster now. With Castaigne. Castaigne outside. The first touch from Diario, it feels like in forever. She cuts inside. Floats one to the back post. It's up. Kelly just a little bit too high for her. And the ball will trickle. Will it be a goal kicker throw? They're going to say it's going to be a Colorado throw from about a yard past the flag. So nearly a goal kick. That would have been good for them maintaining possession. But here's an opportunity here where TCU could really press off a possession loss.
Yeah, and I think it's really just about getting back into that space. And the more and more this game goes on, yes, I did say TCU does have the momentum, and when they hold the ball, that's the case. But at the same time, you give Colorado a chance to still be in this. And even though this game might go to penalties, and still, we haven't seen a game go towards extra time and go towards penalties yet. So there's still a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, a lot of game left to be played. 16-33, TCU 1, Colorado 1. Here's Patton cutting towards the end line, trying to cross one in the middle. Takes a couple deflections. TCU asking for a hand, and they get it. They're asking for a handball, and they get it. It's going to be a penalty for TCU. And they're immediately going to go to VAR to look at this. Colorado's going to argue that the hand was in a natural position. We'll see on the replay.
And this is not the first time we saw our referee for today, Servando Berna, go towards the VAR tent, Luke. And that we saw that earlier in the game where we were thinking Colorado would get a penalty kick. They did not. It was originally ruled a corner kick. They stayed with that result. So let's see what happens at the monitor. But it seemed like it was a very interesting challenge. Hands were definitely going up. So this could be something worth noting, especially at this point in the game. Berna will probably give a much more in-depth look at it. And like I said earlier, chances are whoever scores this next goal might win the game.
There's no doubt that it hit the arm or the hand. I feel like the question right now is was that arm or hand in a natural position? And that one is what's really up for debate here. We'll see what the referee says in this one. These two teams, no stranger to late comebacks, both of them scoring game-winning goals on multiple occasions this season. As the ref comes out of the tunnel looking to describe what he saw. And he gives it. It's a penalty. It's a penalty for TCU. Now the question is, who takes it? We know who's in goal. Jordan Knights, Big 12 goalkeeper of the year, known for her shot-stopping ability. The Oklahoma State transfer has been around the Big 12 for many years. She's going to put the ball down on the spot in her best intimidation tactic. It looks like it's going to be 7 Castaigne, 11 goals in the season. She's going to line up from the penalty spot, just 12 yards away. What could be the biggest play of the season for both these teams thus far. Knights turns around, faces Castaigne. Castaigne, 4 steps behind the ball. Referee blows his whistle. Castaigne's approach. It scores! Side netting. Looked like Knights might have had a chance at it for a second, but the pace on the shot puts it past the Big 12 goalkeeper of the year. Mihir, you wanted your moment, and there it might just been. TCU 2, Colorado 1, 16-13 left in this game, Mihir. How does Colorado come back now?
Well, now you got to just go attack, and now this is a team that has to go forward and really do something soon because, hey, your season's on the line. But, hey, nonetheless, 7 Castaigne. She's been 4 for 4 on PK attempts, now 5 for 5. And, again, she's had 3 game winners this year. So she's known for being clutch in these big moments. She's known for putting the ball in the back of the net and just being clinical overall. Had a PK goal against the Buffs back in October, too. So not the first rodeo she's been a part of, but like you said, Luke, and like I said earlier, if you're Colorado, you got to go forward. Expect Danny Sanchez to make 1 or 2 offensive changes soon.
As here's the ball in played. Now with it Shira James trying to seal off defenders in the corner, flicking it into the box. No, just a little bit out of bounds across the end line. It'll be a TCU goal kick. And listen, that was just a perfect penalty. I think it's hard to argue against that. Perfectly placed side netting. I mean, Knights guessed correctly or even did a research and knew which way that Castaigne was going, but nonetheless, the ball just a little bit too wide for her save. And a goal for TCU has put the Horned Frogs up 2-1 with 15:35 left in the second half in the second round of the Big 12 tournament. Now a chance. Here's Hayward with it. Gets it out wide. Looking for options. Gets it back. Govan approaching. Asking for runs. Trying to play it through. Plays it wide. Muschietti with it. Muschietti tries to take a touch. Gets past one defender. Now puts it into the box. Shira James is there. She's knocked over. A clamoring for a penalty on the Colorado bench. They're not going to get the call. They're asking for a push from behind. James is still down. She finally hobbles away to the feet. Now the Buffs going to swing another one in. Leba's in there. She tries to flick one on. It falls to Price, but Price has to run after it. She's on the edge of the 18 now. Price trying to operate. Drag back. Still on the edge of the 18. Trying to beat her defender, put the ball in the box. She floats it in, and it's going to be collected as the keeper, Plashko, collects the ball and falls to the turf. Colorado clamoring for a penalty or a shove on Price. Mahir, you made the motion. Do you think it was a penalty?
No, I don't think so. Because I think there was some part of Hope Leva that was making that push. So it was player on player, but the player's on the same team. So it's not necessarily a foul. At least from my view, it seemed like James and Hope Leva were so close together. It's just hard to say that it was a TCU foul in ways.
So the Horned Frogs will have possession here after the goal kick trickles out of bounds off a Colorado defender. It'll be a throw-in from about half field. Here's Patton getting it up ahead, trying to be flicked on by Kelly. Goes off a Colorado defender, and it'll be a throw-in for about 10 yards closer to the goal. Patton's going to take it again. She has Castaigne and Kelly down the right sideline. She goes for Kelly, tries to flick it on to Castaigne. Castaigne sealed off well by Leba, and Miranda will just clear it out. It'll be a TCU throw-in from about 15 yards closer this time, now on the edge of the 18. Inside of 14 minutes now. 13:45 left in this one here at CPKC Stadium. TCU 2, Colorado 1. The ball trickles towards the end line. It's collected by Kelly. She's going to look for options in the middle of the box. Still looking. Patton now, and the ball is just a little bit too long for Patton. It'll go out of bounds. It'll be a Buffs throw-in as here comes substitutions, and here comes the cavalry for Colorado. 3 bodies making an appearance. We're going to have Jace Holly show up. We're going to have Michaela Rosenbaum show up. Those are 2 goal scorers. Lola Stanley will come off, and Mallory Allen will come off for Rosenbaum. Still awaiting word on that third substitution as the throw-in goes out of bounds off Pena. Rachel Rosen coming on for Muschietti, who will come off. Rosen will take it and throw it towards Leba. Leba heads it and is fouled in the process. Ref's going to play advantage. Here comes Colorado. They swing it back. Dawn Miranda with it. She looks up ahead for options. Finds Holly. Holly tries to control it with a touch. Could play one of her teammates through. She chops it towards Leba, but it's cleared out well by Pena, who intercepted the pass. A collision and contact, but Priest with it now, trying to deke and create space. She finds James. James drags through. Gets it over at the feet of Rosen. Rosen trying to work her way past Kelly, but Kelly's clearance deflects off her foot, and it'll be a TCU throw-in from the edge of their defending third.
And we're going to see more changes coming from the bench, and this is kind of interesting. You have Bella Diorio off, and you'll have Lauren Memely on. So a defensive change.
Just digging in, kind of.
Exactly. And again, Memely, one of those defensive midfielders. She was playing essentially on the same line as the fullbacks in some instances, almost playing as a defensive midfielder, maybe potentially as that third center back, as we've seen at times today.
TCU will take a throw in here. Patton looking down the line, trying to get it to Lancaster or perhaps Castaigne. Ball goes back now at the feet of Imathune. Here comes this Colorado high press. We haven't seen it much today. They deployed it pretty successfully against Utah last game. But still, this team is looking for a goal. Something they couldn't find for a month before this tournament. They were goalless in their 4 matches before this tournament, before turning 2 to the back of the net against Utah. But now the Buffs in search of a goal to save their season, trailing 2-1 to TCU with 11:45 left in this one. The throw down the line is deflected back and now finds the feet of Priest in the middle of the field. She turns looking for options. She squares it to the middle of the field. It's Hayward now. Hayward gets it and goes to ground, but no penalty called. It'll be TCU ball. Here's Memely. She gets it wide. Lancaster with it now. Lancaster on this near sideline. Gets it back to Memely, inching closer to the middle of the field. Still just dancing around this midline. Gets it over to Patton. Patton looking for a through ball option. Not there. Lancaster gets it up. Now Castaigne with it. She's marked well by Leba. Patton with it now. TCU content to just command possession, control the ball. Danny Sanchez imploring his team to press a little bit more, put a little bit more pressure. Here's now Memely. Memely gets it up ahead. Pass intercepted. That was a nice play by Rosenbaum. She tries to control it down. She can't successfully. It's up to Shira James, who can't control it. And now it's back with TCU as it's just sent towards the box. A good run potentially here. Here comes Castaigne. Ball coming towards the end line as Leba seals her off. It'll trickle over the end line and be a goal kick. Inside of 11 minutes now. 10:43 left on the clock. TCU 2, Colorado 1. The 1 seed leading the 9 seed by a goal here at CPKC Stadium, as the bus will push players ahead down the field looking for something, just anything to put themselves with hope of an equalizer here in these last 10 minutes. The ball falls to the feet of Priest. She has her back to goal. She seals off. She gets up ahead. Now, the swing into the box. There's a body there. It's Leba. She tries to deflect it off her chest. She does. She puts it in the direction of Plashko, but not enough pace on it, as Plashko will grab it and fall on top of the ball, hoping to waste some time here in these last 10 minutes as the 10-minute mark approaches.
That was a good ball played towards Leba, just a little too short. If that's right on her head, that might be the goal.
Could have been a nice finish from Leba to get her second of the game. Instead, it's no goal, and now we're inside of 10 minutes, 9:58 and counting here in Kansas City. TCU 2, Colorado 1. Here's Brown with it. Now reverses field. Looking for an option up the left wing. She's got Kelly. Kelly now dancing on the elbow of the 18. Operating, cuts it inside. Could have one here. She winds up, shoots, and it's in the back of the net! Sneaking it by, near post. Jordan Knights is beat to the near post, and that could be the dagger. TCU 3, Colorado 1. Caroline Kelly with her 11th on the year. The Horned Frogs find their third of the game, and with 9:42 remaining, they lead by 2 goals.
That's just a beautiful finish too, Luke. You know, you can go towards the far post if you're cutting inside like that, but at the same time, she goes near post, right? She decides to track Knights in the space where she did not expect that, and that's a good mark of a forward, right? You understand you've got 2 places you can go net. You can go left, you can go right, and sometimes you have to go near side. Sometimes it's just easier as a forward to just get that. Sometimes folks say go far because you have a better opportunity. Nonetheless, TCU up 3-1 off a clinical finish. Both of them, too, clinical finishes.
Knight's going to be kicking herself for that. Another one where she was just a little bit late on the dive as a through ball to Hope Leba is a little bit far, but she still is going to pursue that and try to give her Buffs the best chance to equalize here. The pass out of goal is a little bit too heavy, so here comes Holly with it. Holly looking now. Back as the ball into the box, swings to the back post. Priest is trying to be there, falls to James. She tries one, takes the deflection off a TCU defender and rolls it out of bounds. So it'll be flip throw o'clock for Ava Priest as she jogs to the edge of the 18. Colorado sending all their bodies into the box, as we'll see a substitution here. Our first look at Sammy Fisher, the forward freshman from Scottsdale, Arizona, previously played at Florida. She's going to take off Phoenix Dawn Miranda, who had started 18 games in a row for the squad. Priest flings it into the box. Turns. A chance here. It's deflected. They're going to say hand. The ref says no, and it's going to be controlled by the keeper. The ref's going to stop play, and I'm positive this will go to VAR. Indeed it does.
And there was a nasty collision in the area as well. There's a Horned Frog down.
Ball right off the face of that seems to be Pena. Took it right off her face. As here comes the trainer again. Head and neck injuries are no joke, and it's serious. Something that they always want to look at and command. Nose could be bleeding. Might be why she's holding it. But a flip throw from Priest put the ball in the box. It skipped past. It looked like perhaps Rosenbaum had a chance at it. Somebody had their foot on it.
It looked like Rosenbaum. It looked like Govan. Govan was the one that played it towards the back post. It was knocked down by Plashko, and that's when the whistle came in.
Once Plashko had command, the ref blew the whistle and is going to go look at it.
Because there's so many different things to look at, but I think it really just stems from that initial throw-in, who got into the box, who was stangled with whom. And again, it might come down to a handball. And this is the third time we've seen VAR. I don't think we saw VAR as much in the first round. I don't think we saw it 3 times in total, let alone 3 times in one game.
Yeah, we certainly. Yeah, it feels like, honestly, I was at the point where I was questioning if this tournament even had VAR. But nonetheless, here we are. So the ref will jog back out. He'll make his call.
And I was kind of surprised too, but hey, this is a Colorado team that will kind of bite you when you least expect it. They did it at kickoff, and they almost did it there. But that's a good save, and TCU holding on to a 2-goal lead for now.
The goal kick is sent deep towards Kelly, who just scored the third one of the game. She flicks it on, as now it's backed and controlled. Here's Castaigne. Looking up ahead, Lancaster. Lancaster out to Kelly. Kelly wide now, could swing one in from the edge of the box. Instead, she chooses to walk over the ball now, attacks to the end line, cuts past the defender, looking for an option. It's deflected. Nice defense by Leba, and it'll go out of bounds. It'll be a TCU corner kick.
There's probably a part of TCU that wants to get another goal, tries to assert that dominance, because you can look at the scoreline, and again, we've been watching and say, hey, I mean, Colorado's been in it. They did have that goal, but at the same time, the Horned Frogs beat this Buff side 6-1 in Boulder earlier this year, so there's probably still a little bit of a will to try to add a fourth goal if possible, really put this one in the dust.
Gonna back up and try a corner here. Unsure of who's taking this quite for TCU, but it swings in, heading towards the back post, deflected towards goal, but out of bounds. It'll be a Colorado goal kick, and here come the Buffs. Trying to move with some pace here. 7:16 left in the game. They trail 3-1 to the TCU Horned Frogs, who are the #1 seed in this tournament. The Buffs, the 9 seed, scored a winner against Utah on Wednesday to advance to this round, and are looking for some equally late magic here today. The winner of this game will play the BYU Cougars, who had a dominating win over Oklahoma State earlier today, winning 5-0. A couple deflections, and it's almost at the feet of a Colorado attacker, but ultimately it finds Lancaster from TCU. She'll send it up ahead. Castaigne with it, chests it, looking to turn, gets it back. Memely gets to Brown. Brown swings it through, and here come TCU. 6:40 and counting left in this one. TCU leads by 2. Kelly with it. She's on the far side, looking to just dribble the ball into the corner and hold possession. Nice deflection made by, was that actually Hope Leva, who's tracking back, defending in the same area as her sister, who's been one of the better defenders for Colorado yet today. Ball's down, and Kelly will just pin herself into the corner, trying to take time off the clock. It's kicked out. It's kept in slightly, but now we'll go out for a corner kick. TCU going to try one from the corner. We're almost inside of 6 minutes here in CPKC Stadium, and the Horned Frogs lead 3-1 over Colorado.
Yeah, and you can tell Colorado wants to go quick. Laura Govan basically trotting over to the corner flag herself to put that ball down as we see Cameron Patton head over. I would expect this ball to be played short. And again, we still have over 5 minutes left to be played, but at the same time, that's how TCU wants to operate, knowing how Colorado can really beat this team on the counterattack.
And immediately putting the ball in the corner to waste some time. Doing so successfully, but the kick is deflected off TCU. It'll be a goal kick for Colorado. So here comes Knights, putting the ball down, trying to push the ball down the field. All of her attackers, respectively 2 defenders on the field right now for Colorado. Everybody else listed as a forward. Here comes Knights, booting it towards half field, looking for James. It's flicked on by Pena of TCU and will go out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in. The throw-in taken by Govan will fall to the feet. Trying to look for Leva. She does. Finds her, but ultimately the big touch control by Pena, and now here comes Castaigne. Castaigne one-on-one with Faith Leba. Leba gets a nice tackle and goes to ground. So does Castaigne, but ultimately Castaigne is dispossessed. Another nice piece of defending by Leba. She continues to have a strong afternoon, but her clearance just finds the foot of Memely, who gets it up to Lancaster. Good shouldering by Colorado, and now the ref's going to call a foul. Physical defending from Colorado. Buffs bench and Buffs players certainly not going to be happy with that one, but I have to say it was kind of a fair call. Wasn't shoulder to shoulder, it was shoulder to back, and the ref is going to call that 9 times out of 10. Memely is going to stand over the free kick here just inside of Colorado territory. She'll just pass it to the side to Brown as TCU looks to try to hold the ball for as much as they can. Inside of 4.5 minutes now, 4:23 and counting. TCU 3, Colorado 1, as Kelly makes a nice touch and turns. Now racing towards the end line, trying to seal off her defender. She can't successfully, and the nice clearance is and then immediately turned over. Pena could try one from distance. Instead, she slots one into Castaigne. Castaigne one-on-one again as the ball trickles towards outside, and it's taken. Memely just trying to get to the sideline so they can get it in the corner. They can hold that ball. Inside of 4 minutes now. TCU 3, Colorado 1. The ball takes a deflection and goes out of bounds. It will be a TCU throw. As Colorado players anxiously doing their best to perhaps win this ball back, but it'll go right to the corner. Deflected off of a TCU player, and rather deflected off of Faith Leba last, the big center back, making her presence felt and hitting the ball out. But it'll be a TCU throw-in. Here come the Horned Frogs, throwing in parallel to the edge of the 18. They get it down to Castaigne. Castaigne's just trying to work, spins, and it's a nice tackle by Leyba, who then just boots it down the field. There's really nobody there for Colorado, disappointingly, I'm sure, for Danny Sanchez, wondering why his attackers aren't farther down the field. Ball takes a high bounce, kind of settles near the center spot as James goes up for it and takes a couple deflections and now works towards the sideline, but it's intercepted. Here comes Hope Leyba, pushing towards the edge of the box. Hope Leyba going to send one into the box. It's just a little bit long. It'll stay in. No, it won't. It'll trickle out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for TCU. Inside of 3 minutes now, 2:56 and counting. And the Horned Frogs have to be tasting the next round now, which includes a matchup against BYU, who won in dominating fashion today and could serve us with one of the best matches of the tournament yet.
Yeah, and especially when you start working towards the end part of this tournament, when you start to realize, there is a favorite, there is an underdog, but it's much, much closer than you imagine. This is a TCU side that beat BYU 4-1 in Fort Worth earlier this year. So it will be an interesting matchup, kind of similar to this, where, BYU will come in with revenge. They'll have a chip on their shoulder. They'll want to do something down the stretch, and it's just a matter of will they.
Knights' deep kick is flicked on with a header, but ultimately finds the feet of Lancaster, who will play Castaigne through. Castaigne has a one-on-one with Leyba. This matchup has been one to define the match. Castaigne cuts inside, tries one with the right foot, and a nice save is made by Knights. Applause and cheers, but we're getting close to the 2-minute mark, and Colorado has to get desperate now. 2 minutes flat remaining in this one. TCU 3, Colorado 1. Knights sends it up the line, looking for Leyba. She finds her. Leyba does a good job keeping in, but there's just no one home when she tries to chop it in the middle. The press after possession loss is successful, as it'll be a flip throw opportunity for Priest. Last time we saw this, they almost had a penalty, but with 1 minute and 44 seconds and counting, they really got to go now if they want a goal. They got to score, feels like, before 1 minute to have any kind of chance. The flip throw here from Priest. She winds up, delivers. It'll fling its way into the box, kind of a little bit shorter than usual. And here comes Castaigne with it. She can try one from big distance. She will. Takes the deflection from a Colorado player and trickles out of bounds. And the ball will just continue to just mercilessly roll and waste time for this Buffaloes team that wants to get their way back into this. Still, it'll be a TCU throw. 1 minute and 15 counting left on the clock. The Horned Frogs looking for options. Throwing it up towards Kelly. Kelly flicks on. Here's Castaigne as she runs towards the corner. I'm sure she'll just park it there and try to waste time. Good defending here from Govan as she wins the ball back. That was a nice piece of defending, but we're inside of 1 minute now, and the Colorado needs 2 goals. We've seen some late heroics, not necessarily this late before. Flicked on towards the sideline. Going to have to run it down is Colorado. They can't in time. Oh, yes, they can, in fact. It's deflected. Cotton with it now. It's be out of bounds. Whose ball? TCU ball. It'll be a throw in a yard away from the box. As we're inside of 40 seconds, TCU players taking off their jackets, taking off their panties, getting ready to celebrate in uniform as the Horned Frogs lead 3-1. We're now inside of 30 seconds. Colorado can smell defeat and TCU can smell victory. This was, frankly, a thrilling match as the ball is deflected out of bounds. Again, it'll be a Colorado throw-in with 16 seconds. They get it to Priest. Priest turns, has an option in the middle of the box, hits it. Now a chance. Holly tries one, thinks she's fouled, doesn't get it. Inside of 8 seconds, ball is booted out of bounds. No, not yet. Controlled. Now swung into the box. It'll be out of bounds this time, and that's it. TCU defends their #1 seed honor and comes out on top against the Colorado Buffaloes 3-1. The Buffs score first off of a flip throw from Ava Priest, but can't maintain the 1-goal lead as TCU picks up 2 open play goals and a penalty to win their first game of the tournament and move on to a matchup with the BYU Cougars. This was a good game. Colorado was in it for a little bit longer than many of us thought. So why did TCU come out on top?
Well, I think it just came down to the opportunities where, this game was tied. TCU continued to pressure, and they got that chance. They got that penalty. Seven Castaigne put it in the back of the net. And then from there on out, it was just about finding those open chances, similar to that Cameron Lancaster goal we saw in the first half, Luke. It was just about Caroline Kelly just finding the option, taking that shot from distance. We've seen the Horned Frogs do that multiple times today. It finally paid dividends for them. And again, that's what a good team does. They scrap out wins, and then sometimes they can just find those pockets of space, find those pockets of time, and put it in the back of the net and really win those games.
Winner of this one will advance to play BYU in the next round. The Cougars had a dominant 5-0 win over Oklahoma State this morning. As hugs are exchanged, Colorado, not a lot of upperclassmen. They may be back next year with a similar squad. We'll see. After a good season for the Buffs and a tournament win, their season comes to an end. TCU continues to dance on as the Horned Frogs will face the Cougars next round. From Mahirson Hassan, I'm Luke Lendler. Thanks for tuning in. We got a third game coming up for you in just 40 minutes. Stick around.
I thought I released a good album until Naughty Step said it was bad.
I hear this project and I am frustrated.
I better listen to Blaze Radio.
Hi, I'm Pedro. Did you know you can listen to anything? Blaze Radio says you can, and so do I. I believe that until listened to, every song, album, EP,